And hello and welcome to Epic Team Up Part 2. I am here with my wonderful friends and compatriots, Basic Dragon, Eli Quick, and I am Diane Morrison, aka Sable Aradia, if you don't know me, which you probably do by now. And yeah, so first of all, thank you very much to the community. Thanks to you guys, our Kickstarters were all successful. Hearts indeed. And I love this. Everyone's like, oh, yay, the superhero stream theme. This is a massive team up. It kind of is. I think that it is kind of epic. These are some amazing people. I'm really, I love and admire them, and I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to get together and, combine our efforts, share ideas, right? So, pronouns, by the way. Everybody's a they except me. I'm a she, they. So if you say they for everybody, you can't go wrong. And yeah, let's get started. Let's talk about. So first of all, I guess we should ask where we're all at in terms of where we ended up. Did we? Do we want to do dollar amounts matter, or is it more like did we reach some of our stretch goals? How would we like to? Yeah, I'm not sure that dollar amounts really matter myself, right? I mean, it was better than I was expecting. That much I can definitely say. And the truth is that all of us had relatively small Kickstarter goals. Some people will be in 15 to 20,000 range. I've seen, right? I saw one that was 40,000 once. Ours is nowhere near that. We're writers. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, well, let's see. What am I doing wrong here?
World Anvil stream without a technical
difficulty. It's not a World Anvil stream without a technical difficulty. Okay, can we hear everybody now? Say hello, guys.
Okay, there we are.
Okay. All right, perfect. Yeah, okay. I don't think that anybody said anything that
I don't think so.
We need to repeat, so we're good. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't realize that my desktop audio was muted in the scene for some reason. I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, so yeah, so stretch goals. Did we reach any?
Yes.
Yes.
Where are we at? I reached my first one.
I did too, and most of the way to the second one. Not quite, little short.
I reached my second one.
Awesome.
Colors.
Yay, awesome. So what were your stretch goals, guys?
My stretch goals, my first stretch goals that I wanted to do were $300 each, and for each one there was going to be another portrait in the book. I got a little surprise from Twitch. I don't know if you remember. Actually, you probably do remember because you were part of it. But that epic music stream that I did, where I got the hype train going, and it was all awesome. And I'm still kind of I got paid for that in the middle of the month, and I went, I know exactly what I'm doing with this money. And I commissioned a piece of art from somebody. I posted. I'm putting up the art.
Awesome.
And, but I raised enough for one more piece of art, and not enough to commission the same artist for another piece, but maybe enough to commission another artist for another piece.
Right.
Nice.
Well, awesome.
And I like the idea of supporting as many artists as possible. So I've got the one that I already commissioned, the one that I'm going to commission as soon as I get paid.
Yeah.
And then possibly someone else. We'll see what happens.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, well, that's awesome. Good timing on that.
Yeah, that was wonderful timing.
And what about yourself there, BD?
I reached the second stretch goal. That's colors. The first stretch goal was a drawing, kind of a print. Just a picture.
Awesome.
And the second one was colors for the scene, for those who want it, because the first one is in black and white. So if those who have it already want it to be the same, they can choose to do that.
That's amazing. That is really, really cool. I'm excited about colors.
Yeah, I like colors.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm hoping Aaron remembered to make the pledge because I told him
Yeah.
to. He does. Okay. Okay. Good.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that he supported Eli's because he told me outright that he
Yeah.
went for the double book package, which is what I wanted. So that's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool. I reached my first stretch goal too. My first stretch goal was audiobooks. Right? And this is like the bare bones audiobook, but it's, it's going to be an audiobook. And that's great. And that's cool because it's something I've never done. And so this is a whole new area of exploration for me. Right? And yeah, I guess we'll talk about that in the process of, that's part of what we're doing here today is talking about what happens behind the scenes, how you go about fulfilling the rewards, what you're doing to reach people, right? So yeah. That's awesome. I'm gonna check the chat here just to make sure I haven't missed anything that I need to. Yeah, okay. There was a lot of we can't hear you. I'm glad we fixed that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, and hello everybody. I guess I'll do the round of hellos and that will make sure I don't miss anything. Hello James. First in the chat by like an hour and a half, I think. Hello Stretch. Hi, yeah, and then you guys all said hello. And then Kahuna raided, which is awesome. Thank you very much for the raid. Hello, Magpie. Hello, Fleece Comrade. I love your handle, by the way. It's very cool. Hello, Clarissa Wrights. Hello, Mooncloud. Hello, Lorraine. Hello, Right Idea. Hello, Daz. Hello, Tillers. Hello, AJ. Hello, Masatis. Who am I missing? Anybody?
Aaron said hi.
And Aaron said hi. Hello, baby.
Hi, Aaron.
All right, so cool. At any time, guys, if you have any questions, if there's something that you would really like to know, and hello, Rowan, right? Anything you would really like to know, any questions, any thoughts, whether about what we're doing or about your own plans for your own Kickstarters, we are happy to answer them. That's what we're here for. So,
Yep.
All right. So I figure we'll start with Eli because their Kickstarter finished the most recently. Aw, Tillers has to go to bed. That sucks.
Aw.
We'll
Good
miss
night,
you.
Tillers.
But yeah, I get it. It's late.
Yeah.
Yeah, unlike night owls up there, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so yeah, your Kickstarter finished the most recently, which was the end of the month, right? So your
Yep.
Kickstarter's been done for 5 days, I guess.
Closer to 4 at this point, but yeah.
Right. Okay, so
Yeah,
where
4 days and 3 hours ago, basically.
Right. So where are you at? Well, for one thing, I imagine that, of course, your funds have not cleared yet because that
Nope.
takes a couple weeks.
Yep. My funds have not come in. However, my proofreader, who is awesome, I absolutely love them, has agreed to be paid later in the month and has already started
Nice.
proofreading for me. I told them I got funded. I'm getting paid. I can't pay you yet, but I will.
Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Have you sent the backer surveys yet?
I have not sent the backer survey yet because I probably should, but I have not done it yet.
It took me like a couple weeks to get there.
Yeah.
I just recently sent mine.
I didn't send mine just when I was about to send them out during the last Kickstarter.
Yeah,
because I didn't know what I wanted to know.
Yeah. I'm thinking I will send my backer survey in a couple weeks or so, something like that.
I figure I can probably show how the backer surveys work. So I'm going to do that here, right? Because the survey itself doesn't say anything about, like, people's personal information, which it's awkward in some ways to do the behind the scenes showing because I don't want to show anybody's personal information. And there is a lot of that, right? And one of the things they do with Kickstarter is they make you checkbox sign an agreement saying you're not going to show this to anybody. You're not going to use it on a shared computer. You're only going to use it to fulfill rewards. You promise that you're not going to sign anybody up to mailing lists or send them demographics, research information, or any of that nonsense, right? So, which I think is great because I think that's just harassment. And I resent that kind of forced marketing myself, so I have no trouble agreeing to that. But I know that people would do it if they did not expressly forbid it, right? So it's really great. Hello, Gwen. Good to see you. Fleece Comrade says, I also pay someone to help me write who's very understanding and works around my paychecks. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to the bigger browser screen here so that we can show the surveys, right? So when you when you create a backer survey, right, you have to create an individual one for every level that you have. And they make you really nervous about it if you're subject to anxiety like me, because they say you can only ever send one of these. So make sure you ask everything you need to know.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I haven't sent mine yet. Is it's like, what do I need to know?
So they make you double think and rethink and right. So yeah, but it's really okay. So first of all, that's not really true. You can only send the one backer survey, but I've forgotten to ask things before in earlier Kickstarters, and there is a message system on Kickstarter that allows you to communicate directly with your backers. So if you forget to ask something, you can ask it in a message, right?
Yep.
And it's one thing that, with this particular, my Kickstarter was arranged in such a way that I really took advantage of the add-ons, right? Which is something that was not available in my previous 2 Kickstarters. And it basically allows you to customize things so that your backers can get exactly what they want. They can mix and match if you're willing to put all that in and make it all available. The drawback of this... Sorry.
I said, hi, Sunny.
Oh, hi, Sunny. Good to see you. Yeah, the drawback of this is that it makes it... sometimes it makes it difficult to send like a generic survey asking everything you need to know, right? But anyway, I'll show you the survey for this. I think that it'll just show me what the survey looks like by clicking that link. Yes, that's... All right, so, first of all, you put in your introductory thing. Hi, thanks for your support. We need some information, right? I feel it's very important to protect people's privacy, so I tell them why I'm asking for the information that I'm asking for, right? In this case, this was a digital package mid-shipment, right? But because I made physical rewards available as add-ons, I had to ask about that in general. So every survey I sent had a place for addresses, right? Then I said, if you select any physical add-ons, we'll need your IRL snail mail address. We'll also need your email address for your digital rewards and add-ons. Please make sure to fill those out, or we can't promise you'll receive your rewards. We can't send stuff to addresses or emails we don't have. I had to put that because in previous Kickstarters, I've had people not want to give me the information. I don't know how I'm supposed to send you stuff if you don't give me an address to send it to, right? I think they think Kickstarter keeps that for me or something, right?
No.
But they don't. Right? So that's a behind-the-scene things. But please note that we must have a phone number to send you a physical book. It's something our distributor insists on. Sorry. Right? And that's just my distributor. They've got a thing where they want, especially with international shipping, they want a phone number. Right? So
that makes sense, because if the package gets lost or whatever.
Which happens, right? I've had that happen. Again, on both the previous Kickstarters, I've had to remail something at least once. Right? Because things do get lost in the mail. People do steal mail. That happens.
Yeah.
Some people got, like, the package and no book because the package was open. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So
your book is
it's out there somewhere, right? But that means that I had to send 2. So,
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why you include a buffer fund of, okay, if shit goes wrong. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is why I'm kind of asking myself, do I want to commission that other art or do I want the buffer?
Right. I understand completely. Honestly, my suggestion is you can't. You got to make the decision one way or the other. How tight is the budget going to be if you commission the art?
I gave myself some leeway, so it's not going to be like super duper tight, but I don't know that I would have enough to replace incentives if something goes missing.
Right. And then I say, and note that the Kickstarter doesn't let me make the physical address question optional if I ask it. So feel free to type in some nonsense if you didn't request any physical add-ons, right? I don't really care about your address if you didn't ask for something physical. None of my business. But because there were physical things that were available as add-ons at every level, I have to ask this on every survey. So if make up shit. I don't care, right? And then, the questions, right? What's your email address? This was all digital rewards. I need that to send stuff to you. Did you select any add-ons? Yes or no? You can make questions optional. I said, what are the add-ons you selected? That was an optional question because obviously if you didn't ask for any add-ons, you don't need to answer that question, right? Then asked for, this is the address information. You don't have to type this in. It's a thing that they just put in, and they let you have the option of allowing people to change their address once they've entered it, which is useful if it may be some time before some of your rewards are going to be delivered. Oh, I hear a dingy thing, well, it's not dingy there. Oh, thank you for the cheer. Oh, right idea, asked a question. Okay, thank you. If there was one thing you could tell someone before their Kickstarter, just a second here, before the first Kickstarter, what would it be? That's a good question.
Budget.
Yeah, that's pretty much my advice.
Consider taxes and VAT, and it costs a lot different sending it international and all the stuff.
Yeah. Budget, I agree completely. I think is really important. Try to plan it out as close as you possibly can. Research things like shipping costs.
Yeah.
Packing for shipping as well costs. So
yeah, shipping is going to cost you more than you think it will. It's ridiculous.
It is.
Right. One thing I did to research that is that I looked at, I know roughly how big my book's going to be. So I know roughly how much it's going to weigh and what its dimensions are going to be. So I had previous books that I had sent to people in my distributors. So I went to the old books and I looked for addresses that I already had, right? That were in a bunch of different places, and then, made something up for another, and I did stuff like, okay, so across Canada, right, to a couple different places in the U.S., London, Melbourne, I think, I don't know, somewhere in the middle of Europe. I don't remember exactly where it was. I had something that was sort of Central Europe, so I used that. Right, and then I had one for Israel, and I had one for somewhere in China. Right, so I did estimates on all of that, and then that's how I calculated my rough international shipping. I overestimated. You probably got charged more shipping than it actually cost, but again, that's because we have to have the buffer, right? And because things like sometimes you end up sending the book twice. So
I also overcharge for shipping because exactly that reason.
if you don't, oh no, go ahead.
And then the fees. There's fees for Kickstarter and the bank and the transfer from Kickstarter to the bank as well. So,
not to mention taxes.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are, taxes may or may not be relevant, right? Like in Canada, we're allowed, because I'm on my husband's disability, it's non-taxable income. So additional income, I can make up to $12,000 a year without having to worry about it, right? And I knew it would be less. So, but I did, take some of that into account, right? Also, I have to take into account things like if you're international, you got to take into account exchange rates depending on where you are. And that's a big deal. And it's more than just, okay, so this dollar is worth this many, right? You also have to take into account things like PayPal will charge you conversion fees. Kickstarter insists on giving you your money in your currency, right? So you can't avoid them if you're international, right? You have to calculate, okay, every time I convert $1 in PayPal, which is how I'll pay for 90% of what I have to pay for, they will charge me money.
Yeah.
So, and then Kickstarter also charges fees. You have to take that into account in your budget. But they tell you how to do that, right? They make that easy for you. Right.
Yeah, they actually have a converter for if you are raising X amount of dollars, you are going to receive this amount of dollars.
Right. Exactly. And okay, back to the shipping of whatever you're shipping, if you've got physical things to ship. If you can't do what I did, which is I already had examples I could estimate, then either do the online thing, get something that's going to weigh about as much as whatever it is you're going to send, right? And is about the similar dimensions. Put it on a scale, do the calculations online from, your postal service or whatever. Or if that's not available to you, take the thing down to the post office, right? And make them tell you how much it will cost to ship to these various places, right? They're kind of anal about it in Canada. You have to have postal codes and zip codes if you want to, you can't just say, I want to ship this to China. Where in China, right? Go find out.
Be specific.
Yeah, be specific, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, they're like that here in the US too.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, I think we've pretty thoroughly answered that question.
Yeah. One of the things with budgeting is budget for something to go wrong because something always does. I did not do that during my last Kickstarter, and it was fine. It was fine.
But you had an overrun because you got more than you asked for, so
I did.
Yeah. I found that out on my first Kickstarter too. The exact same thing occurred. It was a pretty tight budget. This time I budgeted 500 random dollars for whatever. Just crap.
I budgeted I think 400 random dollars that I didn't actually need because I was like, yeah, I could get away with $600 again, but not gonna do that.
Yeah. Actually, here's another thing that the last thing I'm going to say about surveys for the moment. You'll see I have this question here. Are you aged 18 plus and otherwise legally entitled to receive erotica in your area country of residence? Because one of the stories that I am sending, or one of the books, right, has erotica in it. Mm-hmm. So one thing you have to be aware of is the laws in places where you are sending things. It may be illegal to import erotica, right? I will probably not send you this book if you are in Saudi Arabia. I'm pretty sure erotica is legal there, right?
Yeah.
I don't particularly want to get charged with, some offense in some country I'm never going to be in, right?
Yeah.
So I asked this question as a CYA, right? Basically, I'm saying, but I can't know what all the laws are. Iran, it's illegal. Thanks, dear. Yeah. I don't know, right? So I'm asking this question because I don't want to be responsible. If I end up accidentally sending it the wrong place and somebody has answered yes to this, then I can argue that I have, I did my due diligence. I tried to check, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, so that's why I put it in there. So that's something special to keep in mind if you're using any adult content or, whatever, right?
That's the good thing about writing YA is I don't have to worry about the erotica thing.
Nope.
Yay.
No, you do not.
Not for this book, anyway. That's all I'm going to say.
I like that. Keep it ambiguous.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. I've been talking a lot, which I tend to do in these things, but I guess that let's see. Okay, so you've got the proofreader working
Yes.
on your book. Now, I know how that process works, but I'm guessing that probably our audience doesn't necessarily. So while we're getting cat tax over there, perhaps you can
Yeah.
explain to the viewers what a proofreader does and how that process works.
Okay, so proofreader is an editor, but they don't necessarily do anything developmental. All of the developmental stuff has been done. The vast majority of you might want to change this word, has been done. The only thing that remains are all of the commas in the right place? Are all the periods in the right place? Do all of the quotes have quotations on both ends? I don't have a problem with this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Brackets. I forget the end bracket. You
I
may have
always
noticed in
forget
the
the end
Twitch
one.
chat.
Yeah. Yes, it's not an after formatting editor. Formatting is a little different. I actually do my own formatting, because I enjoy it, so why not? But it's all of the stuff like
Grammar and stuff.
not so much grammar. Grammar is what was going on before. Editor will usually do grammar. Proofreader will usually do, yes, this comma goes here.
Yeah, this is sometimes also called copy editing. It's one of the things
Yes.
that's part of the copy editing process. And
Yeah.
I strongly advise that if you're writing a book, get someone to do it because you
Yeah.
will miss something.
Yeah.
And I'll also tell you that people tend to be harder on independently published things for that than they do traditionally published things. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true. I cannot tell you how many traditionally published things I have read where it's like, why is there a B in the middle of the word that? Or
Double
whatever.
words. One word there, and then the one on the
Sentences.
next line. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, or, they forgot to indent one paragraph in the middle of the text or something. Yeah. And it happens a lot, and it's happening more and more than it used to because, to be honest, most traditional publishers, unless they are the big four now, outsource all of their editing, just like we do, right? Just like independent writers do. So it's the same thing, and it really depends on the editor that you get. I was recently reading this series by a rather well-known science fiction author who's been around since the dawn of time, Greg Bear, and I was just shaking my head at whoever his editor was because they were asleep at the wheel. It was bad. And, he's published by like Random House, so,
Yeah. It's like, I know better about certain commas these days than I did when I published Reaper, so I read through Reaper and I go, why did I put a comma there? And then I read through another person's book that was traditionally published and I go, why did they put a comma there? But as far as typos went, I had one in Reaper for the first edition. I had NOB, which is instead of KNOB.
got it. Yeah.
And actually that's really not bad.
No. Actually, that's excellent. But,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's a thing. I am still in the trenches of the comma wars as Dad.
Yeah. I'm still figuring out commas. My editor often says, Yes, you are correct. This sentence does need a comma. However, it should be over here.
Yeah, I'm not bad at commas, but that was the most common error that Author Goddess fixed in my manuscript anyway. So,
Yeah. I'm getting better. I'm not as bad as I used to be. I remember to put in commas. Yeah.
well, awesome. Yeah, and you said that the art has been commissioned. How is that coming along?
It hasn't been commissioned yet. The
Okay.
person who I am going to commission knows I will be commissioning them, but they want a there is a term for this where you give them part of the money beforehand and then part
Advance.
of the money advance. Yes, they want an advance, and it's like I don't have that money yet.
Yeah,
So and asking for an advance is
absolutely reasonable.
1,000%
Yeah.
reasonable. Yeah.
Industry standard, actually. Yeah,
Yep, it is.
yeah.
So I'm like, I will pay you when I have money. Right now, I do not have money.
Yeah. Now, Basic Dragon doesn't have to do any of that, because Basic Dragon does their own art, which is awesome. You know, I do. I happened to have money from my Patreon prior to doing this, so I was able to commission my cover art in advance, which I've already discussed, I think. But I needed that in order to present the Kickstarter, right? So I had to have it before. But I did budget reimbursement for that into the Kickstarter, right? So that is part of what the Kickstarter went to pay for. And yeah, I'm very happy with the work. So there's another thing. If anybody who has questions about hiring cover artists, that's something that Eli and I can talk about.
Yeah.
So.
And before I forget, Deslicat, yes, I am dirt cheap to hire for formatting, but I will do it. I will do it for you if you pay me.
Yes, I will also do that kind of thing if I am paid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. I gotta make stuff on side gigs, man.
Yeah. I need to come up with a rate.
Yeah.
I will format your book for blah blah cents per word.
Yes. Yes, it's important.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess, is there anything else that you want to add from where you're currently at?
Let's see here, where I'm currently at. No, I'm just kind of twiddling fingers, waiting for money to come in. Yeah, I'm at that frustrating stage of I can't do anything yet.
Yeah, I totally get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the drawbacks, is that once your Kickstarter's done, you don't instantly get the money. They instantly charge you, right? If you supported the Kickstarter, bam, like my Kickstarter ended midnight, right, on the 16th, and that's when everybody got charged. I know, because I was online and people were like, "Oh, they just charged my credit card," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good question. Daz wants to know, when is the Basic Dragon How to Write Your Choose Your Own Adventure class? I think this would be a good class. I would take this class.
Yes. That's an idea. I could teach you how to format class. It's actually not as hard as you think it is, although it is also harder than you think it is, but
yeah. Yeah, James says, and my bank checked, it wasn't fraud. That's how I knew. He told me my bank just sent me a message asking me if this was fraud.
I think my bank does that too. Is like, is this fraud? No.
I got an SMS when I pulled your money for your Kickstarter.
Yeah. My bank is weird. They deposit money and they go, "Is this fraud?"
No, I mean, the card I have right now, it's when something is somebody outside of Sweden is getting the money, they say, "I've sent this money to these people now." That's the only thing they say.
Yeah.
It's an app that says it, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. My bank, if they take money out, is this fraud? If they put money in, is this fraud? I don't understand. I just, whatever. At least they're checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I leave my immediate area, they ask me if it's fraud.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that my, because I have two banks. I have a bank with Mr. Twinkle, which is our shared money,
Mhm.
and then I have a bank for all of my writing expenses, which is the one that's always like, is this fraud? I'm amazed that the one that I share with Mr. Twinkle hasn't gone, you're not at home. Where are you?
Yeah. Yeah. All right, comments here. Misati says that cat is so happy right now. Yes, it's a very happy looking kitty right there.
Yes, happy kitty.
High five.
Yes.
He can do high fives, but
He
only
doesn't
when
feel
he
like
feels
it right
like
now.
it.
Yeah.
Aw, good kitty.
It's like that Pokemon meme. Exactly.
Yes.
That's fraud.
Yeah. Daz says my stupid card won't allow non-US Kickstarters. Lame. Yeah, that brings up another point. Not all your payments are going to clear.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And
My
often
first,
it might be stupid reasons like that, right?
yeah.
You know, since Daz brought it up, right? Daz found out the hard way that her card will not support non-US Kickstarters. After the fact,
Yeah.
it let her make the pledge, and it wouldn't take out the money, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks, you know? And you kind of got to let that, right? Because that's no fault of hers, right?
No.
Nobody
Yeah.
bothered to inform her, right? It's lame, right? So now she says she's gonna, get the book when it comes out, which is, and that's cool. That's cool. You will have that, right? That will happen. Sometimes it can be a really big deal, right? In my last Kickstarter, I barely made my stretch goal, right? Which was to provide complimentary copies to all of the writers who contributed to the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then a really big payment, one that I was absolutely relying on, did not clear.
Oh.
So I did eventually send all the complimentary copies, but some of it had to wait until some of the profit came in from the book after it had come out. So my authors ended up waiting a long time. This is one of the reasons why you have to have that, little packet
cushion.
of cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I only had, during my last Kickstarter for Hindsight, I only had one payment that didn't clear. Unfortunately, it was a $5 payment, so it was like, whatever. But
yeah.
I felt so bad for her because she was like, they charged my card after I thought they were going to charge my card, and that money wasn't there, and I felt so bad for her.
I feel you, exactly, right? And then she ends up paying this ridiculous overdraft fee, right?
Yeah.
For a $5 charge, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you feel so bad, especially if these are your friends. You're like, oh.
Yeah, and she is, and she did pledge to this Kickstarter, but for a much lower amount.
Everybody's having a hard time. Yeah.
Everybody's having a hard time.
It's true. Right. So.
And that's why my first Kickstarter pledge amount was $1. It's like, pledge what you can.
That's right.
The bare minimum is perfectly fine.
That's something that I did too. Did you guys all do that? A basic $1 pledge?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. Yeah. They tell you not to on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
I don't know. It depends, right? I think it depends on your community and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? I did it, right? And I've done it all 3 Kickstarters. Allowed $1 was my basic, right? And in the other 2, it was like, yeah, I get that people are broke, but want to support. So here's the option, right? This time I did it because I figured people might just want add-ons, right? And they're not really
Right.
interested in the main stuff, and then this gives them a starting point that they can build whatever package they want on. But if they just have a buck, I'll take it, and
Yeah.
thank you. But okay, sorry. I think you're.
I just thought of
Yeah.
something, and it's like, oh, if I'd been thinking, I would have done that.
What's that?
I should have done an add-on for Reaper because I had packages that included Reaper,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have an add-on for people who would have just wanted Reaper by itself. I feel silly now.
Next time.
Yeah, next time.
Next time.
Because
And
there's
maybe you
going to
don't
be a
want to do that.
Kickstarter for book 3, so.
Right? Maybe you ended up with better sales because you didn't do that this time. Honestly,
Yeah, it's
for
possible.
a direct sequel, I might be inclined not to do that either, right? I might be
Yeah.
inclined to just, okay, here's the package with the 2 if you don't have the first one, right? By the time you get to book 3, though, probably you should.
I'm thinking add-ons,
Yeah.
I'm thinking add-ons for book 3 because that's going to be a lot of packages, so.
What's your thoughts on that, actually, BD? Because
Yeah, I'm doing my 3 in a couple of months, so I'm probably gonna do that.
Yeah.
right. Did you do it for the second one? I make it available as an add-on. The first one.
I did the add-ons for the first. I have digital version and print version, and then extra fancy stuff. And for the digital version, I have the first one together with the second one, or just the second one, for those who already have the first one. And the same, I did the same for the print version.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I see that Author Goddess has sent me a link. Is this something that is video? Can I show this on my stream? If it's video, I don't want to do it because things go wrong.
Yeah.
But if it's not, then I can do it, and I
it's
can't tell by the link.
It might be a GIF. I can't tell.
A GIF should be fine.
It's an image. Okay.
It's an image and safe for work. Okay, well, so we'll look at it. I'll go to the browser screen then so we can see it. Eventually. When it clicks on it. Yeah, pretty much.
I have to wait for it to load on my tablet.
Yeah.
Hang on. It's almost there. It's thinking about it. My tablet is so much slower than a computer. Yes. There we go. Thank you, Author Goddess. That is exactly.
Yeah, what is the purpose of having a bank if it's going to do that, right? You're like,
Yeah, my bank. Is this fraud?
With anything, exactly.
Yeah. Money
Pretty
going
much.
in, fraud. Money going out, fraud. To be fair, money going out could be fraud, but money coming in, come on.
Your tablet, is this image fraud?
Yeah. No, my tablet's watching the stream. It's just, it's like 6 years old. Actually, I think it's older than that. I think I got this in like 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, that was 9 years ago.
Yeah. It's not the newest tablet, but it still works. So
yeah,
I don't replace things till they break either.
Yeah, exactly.
They cost me enough money the first time. I don't need the newest fashion model.
Yeah. It's a perfectly functional tablet. It's just slow.
Author Goddess, if my bank thinks money coming in is fraud, I kind of wonder what they think of my career.
I mean...
I've been receiving royalty checks for, let's see, it is 2021, since 2014, so that's 7 years now. Every 3 months from the same publisher, but because it's in the United States, they hold the check for 2 weeks before I can have it. You would think after 7 years, they would recognize this is legit. It's been about the same amount every quarter, give or take $50, Come on.
Yeah. And yet.
Thank you, AJ. Hail Hydrate.
Oh, hail Hydrate indeed.
Good idea.
I'm drinking out of a cup with my mom's teacher name on it.
Now, I'm curious, actually. Okay, so Basic Dragon did not do a $1 pledge option. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that at all. As a matter of fact,
No.
I would love to hear why you didn't, for the sake of people who may be planning their Kickstarters in the future, so that they can compare the logic, right?
Kickstarter said I shouldn't, and the taxes on it is pretty high, and it's the same for Patreon. You shouldn't have less than 5 on Patreon either. So that's why I did it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does. Yeah. Fair enough. And that's probably true, right?
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, I wanted people to have an option. So,
Yeah.
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 I think for every dollar I get like 95 cents or something.
Something like that.
90 if you count I have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're at probably the place where I should start talking about where I'm at. But we're also at 7 minutes to the hour. Do you want to take a break first, do you figure, before I start getting into that? Because you know me, I'll talk forever.
I could use a bit of a break.
Okay. Yeah, I think the taxes from where you live make a big difference as well. You're right, Daz. It really does depend. Isn't the next problem that you get cheapsters like me who likes the person in the project who can give them $1 but can't buy the book when it comes out because employment, says James.
I don't think so.
I don't think that's a problem, right? I appreciate that people are poor. I have been really, really poor, right?
Yeah.
I get it, right? And I want to support things too, and sometimes just don't have the cash. I've been fortunate in recent years, knock on wood, to be in a slightly better place financially where I am able to do that. But I've made sacrifices to get that, and I get, I get it, right? This is a matter of careful pooling of resources and many, many years of saving and doing without a lot of things, right? So, and we're still, and it's not like we're flush, right?
No, yeah.
Supporting can also be just sharing the...
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
Support can be sharing, support can be $1. It's whatever you can comfortably afford.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's a share, cool. I love shares. I didn't get nearly enough of them.
Spreading the word is more valuable than you think.
It is.
Right. In our world of, okay, first of all, somebody has to hear something 3 times before it sticks in their head. So, at least. So that's why advertising is repetitive. Right? And so if you tell people about it, about the 3rd time you've told your friend about it, then they'll remember it, right?
Yeah.
In social media, which is the primary way everybody advertises now, and that's absolutely... They've done studies now. TV advertising doesn't work anymore. Right? It's actually a loss to advertise on television now. Right? So social media is the only real effective method. Sorry, could you repeat that? Stretch, you're hilarious. Hey. 7 times for cold scrolling ads. Yeah, exactly, right? Things don't stick, so you do have to repeat them. And on social media, it's all about algorithms. The more times something is mentioned, the more attention it gets. After a certain point, it begins to start feeding itself. The algorithm will advertise for the things that don't need it. Right? Yeah. So the more you talk about stuff that you support, the more a favor you're doing for your whoever it is you're supporting. And that includes things like reviews, by the way. Independent authors are absolutely dependent upon reviews on places like Amazon and Goodreads. It's the only real way you get attention, and it's the only real way that you get any advertising. So you know, you want to do your friends a favor, you write a friends a favor, write them a review, even if it's 3 words, right?
Yeah.
Give them a
This
rating and a review.
good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
You know what?
This was
Even
good.
this
I love
was crap. Helps.
It's true.
Because it
Because some
gets
people will read
mentioned.
it because somebody
Yeah.
said this was crap.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
it's like Captain Jack Sparrow, right? But you have heard of me.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you are absolutely right about you have to advertise and advertise and advertise and advertise to get one person, because I posted not quite every day, but at least half of the month of my Kickstarter. I posted once a day, every 2 days, every 3 days, whatever I ended up doing. And the last week I have a Kickstarter. It's ending. You should donate. I have a Kickstarter. It's ending. You should donate. And the last 36 hours was 12 hours left. 24 hours left, 36 hours left. I had a friend. I posted 2 hours left. Have you donated? If you're donating, you should do that now. 30 minutes before the end, he said, "Oh, I forgot."
Yep. Yep. Like I said before, 3 days before the store I owned for 7 years closed forever, someone came in and said, I didn't know you were here.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Yeah. Author Goddess says, and she's right, there's a lot of good marketing that isn't available if you don't have so many reviews with an average of at least 3 out of 5 stars. Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's amazing what it takes to get it. Right? Like, I don't have enough to do a book bub with my traditionally published book. Right? If I wanted to take my oldest traditionally published book, I have a 4.75 rating out of 5 average on Goodreads and Amazon on that book. I have 50 ratings and 20 reviews, and it's still not enough. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And there are a lot of people who won't read your book if the reviews are too high, and that's
a weird one, isn't it? But you know what? The problem with that is that people start to get suspicious and they think, oh, bot farm, right? Which people have used and continue to use.
It's true. Or it's, oh, they're all the mom, or the best friend, or you get the idea.
Yeah. My first book is a non-fiction book on witchcraft that was published through Wiser Red Wheel, which is now back to calling itself Wiser, right? And it is called The Witch's 8 Paths of Power, and it was published in 2014. So, and yeah, or actually it might have been 2011, so 10 years, right? But it doesn't have enough reviews, right, to do a book bub, right? And I don't want a book bub for that one. Honestly, it's fine, right? I'm interested in advertising my fiction,
Yeah. I'm going to Goodreads right now. I have not read your book, but I will leave you a 4-star review saying I liked it.
No. Read the book. Don't give me any reviews I don't deserve. Seriously.
Okay, I will check it out from the library and
that will be fine.
Read some of it.
Yep, you can get it from the library. That it should be able to do that.
I have to find the right app. There's the right app.
Yeah, it should be available on Overdrive anyway, so hopefully.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm using.
Yeah, I love Overdrive. Awesome app.
Search. Which is 8 Path of Power, right?
Yeah.
That is not how you spell that.
Do I have any books in audiobook format? Not yet. A Few Good Elves will be my first. Because that is the stretch goal that was reached. So this will happen. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Once I figure out how to do it for this one, then I will have a plan for getting my back catalog put up in audiobook. And I know that my Weird West stuff would do great in audiobook.
Have you heard about...
My library does not have you. I'm disappointed, Los Angeles Public Library.
That is disappointing. Okay, you know what? I'll send you a copy. It's fine. I'll send you, I've got, the manuscript around somewhere. I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Very disappointed in my library.
Okay, yes. Mooncloud says, I did not read or watch the Harry Potter movies until a few years after the huge buzz around them subsided. I tend to avoid hype stuff too, and then check it out later to fill myself in. I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until season 4, I think, and then I kind of binged watched all the back episodes. So I get that. Masadi's asked, what's Overdrive? Overdrive is an app that is used by a lot of libraries nowadays, which lets you check out ebooks. So, and I love it. It'll send it right to your phone, your tablet, whatever. Author Goddess says, heck, reviews are so precious. I'll consider giveaways to anyone who promises to review, so long as I know them well enough to have faith in that promise. And that's a thing, right? You can promise copies to people to review, and the truth is, a lot of people won't do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will. I'll probably do it later than you wanted, right?
Yeah.
I will eventually read your book, and I will eventually review it, but it may take me a while to get there, right? I'll be honest, because I always have so much on my plate. Fleece Comrade says, there's a good chance I will listen. I don't read much, but I love audiobooks while I work. And a lot of people prefer audiobooks, which is why it was very important to me to try to reach that goal. For a lot of reasons, right? Access, right? Disability, availability, time, right? Just some people are dyslexic and it sticks with them better. There's lots of reasons why audiobooks are a really great format. So, yeah. And cool. And the interesting thing is I was going to get into this after the break, but I can do it now. Sometimes things that do better in audiobook than they do in print. Sometimes things do better in ebook than they do in, like, paper book. Sometimes things do better in different languages than they did in their original language, right? So it's really just a matter of, right? And you can kind of, I think that adventure type stories tend to do better in audiobook than literary type stories, for one thing. I just, personally, I think it's a more fun listen, really, right?
I found it. It was on a different app.
Oh, great! Cool! Glad you found it. It's awesome. Yeah, the authors have to put their audiobooks on there, though, like you say. Basic Dragon, yeah, exactly, right. You have to make it available through Overdrive. All my stuff should be available on Overdrive, because I try to make it all available on Overdrive. Yeah.
Download EPUB book. Oh,
Yeah.
come on. Oh,
Rowan says if a library doesn't have a book, you can usually request that they get it in. Yeah, that's often the case. And yes, there's something you can do to help your authors that you want to support. If you know it's available from a catalog, like, okay, so I put my stuff out there so that you can get it at Barnes & Noble. You can get it on, Chapters. You can get it at whatever, the Angus Robertson or whatever it is in Australia, right? Like, I make it available. Right? And I pick distributors that do that, right? So if you know it's available and stuff like that, you can go to your local library and you can request they order it in. You're doing a favor to that author, because if they do order it, now you're exposing their book to a whole new audience. And I don't know about you, but the way I work with books is I can't afford to just buy whatever I see on the shelf that looks nice, especially at the current cost of trade paperbacks. What I do is I read them from the library, right? Or I pick up a beat up paperback from my local secondhand bookstore. And if I really like it, I will buy a good copy to keep. That is how it works. So I'm sure that's true of lots of people.
And actually, I just realized getting it from the library is going to be really useful for me, because that means I can wear these glasses and not my reading glasses, which the ones that I have with me don't have my astigmatism prescription.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
That can be a trouble.
It can, yes. This is also going to be useful because I have more than a few characters that I write who are witches, and it's like, don't know that much. Probably should stop asking my friends who are witches.
The witch friends don't mind, honestly.
That's true. I've noticed that none of you seem to mind, and that's awesome. But also, do your research, damn it.
Interviews or research. Sable is not available in the British Library, and I did type her author name. That is depressing. Boo!
The library that I finally found it under, you were Lady Sable Aradia.
Ah! Okay, so they may have insisted on the lady. Yeah. That is a religious title, by the way. It indicates that I am an initiated high priestess in Wicca with a tradition that has initiations. So that is why that is part of the title.
Yeah, you might need to search under that, James.
We went back and forth on whether or not we were going to include that, but, you know, they figured it was good marketing, so I went with it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Masadi says, gosh, I'm so bad at reviews. I hate writing them. I'd never make that promise unless I planned on doing it ASAP. I like writing reviews. I promise you that if you're an independent author, I will be nice. If I don't like it, I probably won't say anything. Right? Yeah, I learned that the hard way, actually. There was this great book. It's an awesome book. It was amazing. The writer is incredible, right? But their editor was asleep at the wheel, right? I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I said this could have been a classic book were it not for the editing, and she was furious at me. So, the writer, you know.
You
and
weren't
I'm like,
dinging the writer at all.
No, she was brilliant. Right? That was a great book. Like, I was like, I was on the edge of my seat. It was a really good science fiction thing about a Mars colony. There was a fight with the corporate assholes on Earth. It's totally my cup of tea. And I was like, this is so good. Your editor, don't hire that person again. They suck. I could have fixed this in half an hour.
I love that kind of review where it's like, don't hire that editor again. Is like, noted. Will do. Thank you for the review.
Yeah, but she was furious at me. She hasn't talked to me since. And I gave her 4 out of 5 stars, you know. I was just like,
yeah.
You know, this was a good book that could have been great, you know. Right? Because of this editor. So, you know. So I generally won't.
Author Goddess is exactly right. Reviews don't have to be big. I like the story character, whatever is fine. Please, just tell me what you liked about the book. If you didn't like the book, tell me what you didn't like about the book.
Yeah, if there's a mix, say both. That works too.
Yeah.
I got a thick skin, trust me. You're not gonna... I've been in this long enough now, you're not gonna break my heart if you don't like my book.
Yeah, it's like...
I'll be like,
I started with fan fiction, which is probably all I really need to say. You get used to flame reviews doing fan fiction.
That's true. I also started with fan fiction.
Yeah.
Same.
Nice!
Trifecta.
Yay! A bunch of fanfic writers. That's great. Yeah, you sure learn a thick skin in that community, don't you?
Whew, yeah.
Fanfiction.net.
Yeah. Rowan's got a good point. Just remember that any given witch might answer the question in a couple of different ways. Local library system is down, says James. So you can't check.
No.
Damn it.
I will check it out for you, James. Actually, I already did. So... But...
Yes, and like Author Goddess says, reviews are less about feedback and more about numbers. It really is all about the algorithm, guys.
Yeah.
Which is why even this was crap is fine.
Yeah, I would take it this is crap. I would. I think Reaper has, like, maybe as much as 10 reviews on Goodreads right now.
That's pretty decent. Good for you.
Yeah, it's not bad for a first-time author. I think I'm about a year and a half into having a book out. A proper book.
Mm-hmm.
I technically had a book out before that, and I did nothing with it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Although that one has reviews now, too, because people read Reaper and went, I would like to read this book over here. And I went...
That's how it works.
But why?
Sunny says, holds up hand and current fanfic writer. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I still write fanfiction.
I don't, but only because I don't have time.
I don't have time, yeah.
Yeah. I'm rapidly running out of time, but every now and again I'll read something or I'll watch something or whatever, and I'll go, I kind of want to play with these characters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Masadi says, nod, that's fair. I'm always afraid of writing reviews other people don't agree with. You know what?
Write the reviews people don't agree with.
Don't pay attention to the responses.
Yeah.
The authors shouldn't really react to the reviews because the reviews
no.
are for the readers.
Yeah.
So
That's right. The reviews are not for you, other than to get the word out there about your book. The reviews are for your readers, right? So don't let it stick. And the other thing is, if other fans or enemies of the book comment on your review because you said something and they're like, I don't agree with you because blah blah blah, don't bother responding. Who gives a shit?
They're not worth your
Some
time.
random asshole on the internet has got nothing better to do other than take you down, right?
Yeah.
You know?
As I used to say when I got flame reviews in my fanfic days, who put a bee up your butt?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I would say. I wouldn't even type it in a comment. I would say it to me and then move on. Not my problem.
Yep, exactly. Yes, exactly. Some rando on the internet. Who cares? It's like YouTube comments. What difference does it make? You know? If I express an opinion on YouTube, I express the opinion and move on. I don't bother looking at anybody's thoughts about what I had to say. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which happens about once every 6 months to a year at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aw, see, that's depressing. And this is not a good thing, right? Fanfic taught me to look at all reviews as possible. This sucks reviews, and not to have a hope of a nice review. See, that's depressing. You know?
I was really lucky when I was very small and doing fan fiction. It wasn't very good. I had a lot of people tell me, you show promise, you have talent. When I really didn't.
Well, clearly they were right, because here you are.
Yeah. But I had a lot of very nice reviewers who were going, this is your first fan fiction, I can tell. And encouraged me instead of putting me down.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and I read enough of their flame reviews because it was a small community when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say, oh, you said nice things about my fic. I'm going to go read you're a lot better than me. And look at the nasty things people are saying. They're wrong. But I read enough of those bad reviews on their fic so that when I finally got my first one, I was like, right, I know what to do about this.
Yeah, which is ignore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. My fanfic community was very supportive, actually. So.
Yeah, mine generally was too. I would get the random asshole, but.
Oh yeah. There's always some guy who's got to be the smartest guy in the room, right?
Yeah.
And he's got to and that's not actually how it works because according to this source book and this date and this whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, good for you. You've proven my facts are wrong.
I don't care.
Anyway, we're long past time that I wanted to take that break, and we're way off topic now. But I'm going to take the break. Since we've been talking about Eli's work in this particular hour, and where they're at, we're going to run Eli's Kickstarter ad again in the break because we still want you to support our projects. Remember that these Kickstarters are just the starting point, right? It's not the end. And actually, that's something we can talk about later too, is how you can use the existing Kickstarter to launch everything else, which it's very useful for, right? But yeah, I mean, there's books coming out, guys, and they can still be bought. If you didn't get in on the Kickstarter, you can still buy the book. So we're going to break. We'll see you in a minute.
Do you want me to tell you a story? There's so much more to tell, and time passes all too quickly here.
All right.
What was once clear gets harder to see.
Yeah.
There is more danger in this world than you can ever know. It was 1.5 years before Cain returned. Things had changed. I had a life and a family again, friends that I cared about. I didn't want to give that up for some fate I hadn't chosen. but I wanted to protect them. Cain taught me how to use my power. I didn't like it. I didn't like the work. I didn't like the secrets. Cain was acting weird, and I hated being kept in the dark. But there is more at stake than I thought. There are still the Avadis, and I didn't know how dark the world could get.
Starting from the beginning, my name is Eli Quake. I am pansexual, polyamorous, and genderqueer. My pronouns are they, them. I have been writing since I was 8 years old. I am dyslexic, ADHD, and stubborn as hell. I wrote Reaper in 2017 during National Novel Writing Month, and Guardian in 2018, also during National Novel Writing Month. Reaper, Book 1 of the Reaper Saga, was my debut novel. It tells the story of Raven, a girl who can fly and see the dead, and her adventures trying to reconnect with her family after her entire town disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Along the way she made friends, found new family, and learned there was more to her destiny than she could ever imagine. Guardian picks up the story more or less where Reaper left off. It's been 1.5 years, and some things have changed, but many things are the same. Raven has settled into her new life in Sky City, and there's only one thing weighing on her mind. Cain is missing. When he finally reappears, everything begins to change, and not for the better. The goal of this Kickstarter is to fund the proofreading for Guardian. Following the success of my Kickstarter in April for Hindsight Being 2020, I have some of the things I need to publish this book. Unfortunately, proofreading isn't cheap. I also need some funding to upload all the files to Ingram Spark, the distribution company, for the print copies. This includes the dyslexic edition. If you would like to learn more about the Reaper Saga and Raven's story, I invite you to donate to this Kickstarter and share it wherever you can. Thank you for your support.
And we are back. All right. So, while we were gone, let's see here. Yes. Cool. Awesome. Basic Dragon was ready with Eli's link. That's awesome. Oh, Flea's commenter was like, I just watched this 5 minutes ago. Went to Eli's Kickstarter page and checked it out, did you? Yes, actually, yeah, that's something. Okay, technically we're at the point where I should start talking about where I'm at, but I think that it would be better, since we have this natural lead-in, to talking about how you can use your ended Kickstarter as a way to continue to advertise your project and drive interest. So, do you guys have thoughts on that? Right? I know where I want to go with it, but I've been talking a while. Right, fair enough. Yeah, you're doing a strictly Kickstarter. Like that's it. That's your business model there is.
Smart kick. Oh.
I'm sorry. Please start over. I had to mute the desktop
Okay.
audio to go to the break screen. So
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
I'm a bit contrarian. My Kickstarter, my Choose Your Own Adventure is only available on Kickstarter. Because I wanted to try out doing Kickstarters, because later, while doing a larger Kickstarter, it's good to have some small ones that are finished and complete and good. So
That makes sense. So you're basically kind of where you're at this point is kind of this is my, my teasers. This is what
Yeah.
a little sample of what I can do.
Yeah.
Right. So where are you going with the big project? What's the big plan?
I have a story that I wrote last November during NaNoWriMo that I'm going to do a novel or a webcomic of. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about I'm gonna do a webcomic.
Awesome. Awesome either way.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking to make sure we're not muted anymore, right?
Yeah,
Just-
you can hear us, right?
Am I still muted?
Somebody say something.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. Brilliant, thank you. Okay. Nobody said anything after muted, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know what the problem is, but okay, cool.
Yes. Good.
All right. Yeah, so the plan is either the web comic or the novel.
Yeah. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something with it though.
My brain says, why not both?
Yeah.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Mm-hmm.
Start with novel, because that's what you got.
Well, it's kind of easy to just take what I have of the first draft of the novel and just making it into a comic, because yeah.
Because
I'm already seeing it in my head as a movie, so it's easy to.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't see why you couldn't try either method. It's a very interesting thing, right? Okay, so big example with much better marketing team than we've got, right? But the Dark Tower series by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, actually, as far as his stuff goes, successful novels, right? Made the New York Times bestseller list, but that's because he's Stephen King. A lot of his regular readers were like, what the fuck is this? They didn't get it at first. It took years for it to actually become, like, fully accepted as part of his canon, as people realized what it was he was doing, right? But initially, it didn't sell that well as far as his books go, right? But then he worked with somebody, and it went out as a graphic novel, and it has some amazing visuals. And boy, did it catch fire out there, right? Because
Yeah.
people in the graphic novel world love Weird West. They love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, comics like Jonah Hex kind of paved the way already. So Weird West is, I can tell you from personal experience, the Weird West is really hard to sell in the literary world.
Mhm.
People don't get it, they've never heard of it, they don't understand it. They hear Western and they tune out. And then you're like, but with monsters. And they're like, yeah, what? My brain doesn't compute, don't understand.
Error.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's really hard to market in that field. But it's not hard to market in graphic novels, and it's not hard to market in audiobooks, weirdly. There's one of those things, so I'm like, oh, once I figure out the audiobook thing, I can transfer over, right? So, yeah. So trying different mediums may be
Hold
really
on,
useful,
Rowan.
which was my point.
There's a sequel to The Eyes of the Dragon that I don't know about that I need to read. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which one are you thinking of there, Rowan? Have I read it? I know that The Eyes of the Dragon ties directly into the Dark Tower series and also
Yeah.
into The Stand. Right? Like direct. But I'm not sure about the sequel.
Yeah, which uh-oh. She says it was forever ago.
Okay.
Mm.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hang on. I have a browser open. I'm gonna do a Google. Sequel Eyes of the Dragon.
Yes, okay, so I answered this question last night on your stream when you asked it of me then, Siobhan, right? Which was, Sparkles wants to know when the next Weird West book is coming out. Okay, so that's kind of like in the Winds of Winter area, as in I'm stuck, right? I started a new story, and I don't know where to go from there, right? I'm thinking I
Yeah.
may have to completely rewrite or start with something else completely, right? And right now, because I'm concentrating on the Toy Soldier Saga, I have not been concentrating on the Weird West. It's percolating. I do promise there will be more. I do have all kinds of ideas about where I want to go between here and now, right? I don't even know how the series is going to end eventually, right? But it's a serial kind of thing, so I'm like, how,
Yeah.
at what point, right? What I might do is I might put out the 7th story, which appeared only in Gunsmoke and Dragonfire, as a separate thing, right? So now, if you're talking about Patreon, I'm about 2 or 3 weeks behind on posting Weird West chapters on Patreon because I have, I've been so busy, right, with summer camp and having to move and the Kickstarter and the book publication and whatnot, but I promise you I will do it. I'm at a point in my career where I need a staff and I don't have the money to hire one, right? So it's just me and, whatever Aaron is inspired to do, and that's it, and I gotta make do, right? So,
Yeah.
sorry, I will get there. Right.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
having a
glad he's
similar
interested.
problem.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm having a similar problem with The Meat of Poetry, which is the book I'm supposed to be writing, but I've been so focused on Guardian and Avadis that nothing's happening over here.
Maybe, Siobhan? No killing Graham. Graham is the protagonist of the Weird West series. Well, one of the 2 or 3 protagonists, actually, but...
Yeah.
Rowan says maybe it was just that it ties into the Dark Tower series and I did not realize it when I read it years ago.
It could also be The Stand. I'm looking at the Wikipedia because this is what Google brings up. And the main villain is the same in both Eyes of the Dragon and The Stand.
And in the Dark Tower series, actually. Right?
Oh, okay.
So it all ties in. And actually, that particular being, Randall Flagg, makes appearances in various other places.
Yeah.
Right, as well. So, but maybe you're thinking of Wizard and Glass, which is the 4th book in the Dark Tower series.
That could be.
Right, and yeah, that was an excellent book. Right, anyway, I'm a big fan. I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
I keep meaning to read that series and then just never getting to it because, life.
I recommend it, but anyway.
I recommend it too. It's just, life.
I know, I get that. I do. My TBR pile, the immediate TBR pile is a box over there. Full box.
Yeah.
Stacked.
I have probably 20 or 30, what are those called? I make them. Ebooks. 20 or 30 ebooks in my Kindle that are going, so are you going to read me or what?
The hubby bought me an entire collection of some of the mistresses of science fiction and fantasy. I've got stuff in there from Octavia Butler and Ursula Le Guin and, just amazing people like that. And I haven't touched it because I haven't had time. Anyway, all right. Let's get back to the topic at
Kickstarter
hand.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that it can hurt to know what inspires us and what we're fans of and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, where I'm at. I had a bit of a setback in that I would have liked to have done things much faster, but then I found out suddenly that I have to move, right? So this put me into a bit of an anxiety panic, and I have been struggling to find a place. I still haven't officially tracked anything down, but I've got a couple of options, and I at least know my mother-in-law has now made the offer of, you can come park your RV here for a little while if you can't find anywhere else, so at least I know I won't be homeless. She's even offered the use of her room, which means I'll be able to keep streaming if that happens, so that's good, right? And I'm like, okay, right? Because I'm like, maybe I should set back the publication, because if I can't be online advertising it the week it releases, there's no point in doing it because nobody's going to see it, right? So I'm like, but I don't want to do that because I made promises to my backers and I said September 7th, that's when it's coming out, right? So I don't want to go, and here, now that all the money's in and stuff, which my payments have cleared, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say, oh, well, shit, I'm not publishing till March now. Booyah, no, it's like, that just it isn't good, right?
No, yeah.
But this is the kind of things you anticipate when you're dealing with a Kickstarter, right? Shit happens that isn't expected, right? Thanks, Siobhan. I will take you up on that.
If I was you, I would push it back by a month or two, at least until you know where you're living.
The problem with that is that research says that these are bad times to publish, right? If true. I have to push it back at all, I can get away with a week, and after that, it's March, right? Because it'll just get lost, right? There's a reason why publishers publish when they do, right? And
yeah, it's true. I'm kind of pushing it myself with September 22nd. I'm on the limit, and even then I was going, maybe Halloween would be better, but it's not a good time to publish.
Yeah, it's not, right? Nobody buys anything. Okay, in October, everyone's concentrating on Halloween. In November, people just don't buy anything or go anywhere. Yeah. They don't do it, right? And in December, people are like planning their already picked out Christmas gifts, right? So trying to advertise a new book, not a good time, right? And January and February, people don't spend any money, so March, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, there's lots of research on this, right? I don't even remember where I saw it.
It makes no sense, but
it makes none.
Whatever.
Right? You would think that it would vary depending on where you are in the world, because it's not like everybody in the world celebrates Christmas. It's not like
No.
November is cold everywhere,
No.
but it
But
does. It does
yeah.
matter for some reason. Hi, Natalia. Good to see you.
Hi, Natalia.
Yeah, weirdly, things like summer. Summer's a bad time unless you've got like lighthearted. Like summer's a good time to advertise and publish romance because people are
Yeah.
looking for light reads that they can take to the beach.
Yeah.
Why this has any effect in Australia, I haven't got a damn clue. Because you know what? They're skiing at that time of year. You know?
Dinosaur Bob makes a good point.
Yeah. Yep. You're talking about human behavior. Why should it make sense? No, it makes no sense. But you have to read these trends if you're going to try to market things.
Yeah.
What's up,
Yeah.
BD? You want to say something?
Sweden has an annual event in the end of February, book sale.
Oh, nice.
So it's a
Nice.
lot of books getting sold during this February.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's helpful, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make. Yeah,
It doesn't make the most amount of sense to me, but I know the trends, so therefore I live by the trends because what else am I supposed to do?
you can try to fight them. I did, right?
Yeah.
Personally, my experience from owning a store is that I should just close it in November and just, take my holiday and go somewhere. If I had any money, I would
Yeah.
have, because nobody comes in, right? You have to, all that ridiculous Christmas marketing that drives you batshit insane, you have to do it. If you don't do it, you will starve because
Yeah.
nobody bought anything in November. You got to get them buying stuff for Christmas as soon as you can, right? Or
Yeah.
you will go under, right? It's ridiculous. I fought it because I'm like, I hate this crap, No, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australians like
Yeah.
light reads for by the fire at the ski lodge. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, when your name is Stephen King, you can ignore the trends. That's true.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I am not Stephen King. I cannot do that. Not yet.
Me neither. Yeah.
But you guys can help me do that.
Someday.
Okay. Yes. You can support us and then we could all be Stephen King. Right? You
Yes.
spread the word and the word gets out big enough and that's how it works. But
Yeah.
okay, so where I'm at, yes, a lot of things are up in the air, right? If I have any more setbacks, I will have to postpone till March, right?
Yeah.
I
That
don't
makes sense.
like that. What I'm hoping to do, if that happens, is either produce a limited edition specifically for the Kickstarter backers so they get it before anybody else, or just make the manuscript and send it to them as ebooks prior to the actual publication so that they have it like something to read to keep them, tide it over so they don't have to wait anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Right, so that's
Yeah.
and yeah, and you fight that, right? Because you've made promises, and if you don't keep your promises, then people, get a reputation. Now, 90% of the people who supported me are going to get it, right?
Yeah.
They'll be fine because I know you guys, right? You're this community. You're the Twitch community. You're the World Anvil community. You're the writers community here, right? I know you'll be like, shit happens, right?
Yeah.
10% are going to be aggressively angry at you, right? I had a guy who was very upset that his book disappeared in transit. And wow, was he downright abusive about it, right? So,
Yeah.
customer service applies,
Yay. Yeah.
right? So, that was, the previous Kickstarter. Actually,
Mhm.
not even that one, the one before that, right? So, yeah. One strategy that you can do to minimize that is to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah.
I am really good at telling people where the money went, right? I tell you what I've spent it on. I've scanned receipts and included them in backer reports, right? when I send stuff, I take a picture of it and then I send it, stuff like that. I've gotten compliments for that, right? Being one of the most transparent Kickstarters anybody's ever seen, which is good because that way you know what the deal is, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
On the other hand, things are actually going pretty well as far as everything else goes. I got the backer surveys out. Most of them have been responded to. I have to get the backer surveys back before I can actually finish with the formatter because we have to put the backer names in the book. That's part of what we promised, is that we would, name in the credits whether you donated $1 or $500, and some people did, right? Your name gets in the book, right? And in no order, by the way. It's going in alphabetical order by whatever name you gave me, right? Because any level of support is appreciated. So until we have that, we can't actually finish the formatting, but it is in process, right? So I have to wait for everybody to fill out their surveys or decide somebody isn't going to, which happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, my last Kickstarter that I did for Hindsight, I had a similar reward where it was like your name's going in the back of the book in no particular order, and I had to track down at least 3 people and go, "Is this you? Okay,
Yeah.
please fill out your backer information."
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? So yeah, the right idea says it also adds a personal touch and feels like you really are helping, which you really are. So you deserve that credit. I don't begrudge it at all. I actually am really honored to put these names in the book and go, look at all these wonderful people who supported this.
Yeah. Bob, fill out your survey.
So I better look for my survey. Tries to hide. Yes, please look for your survey.
Yeah.
If you didn't get it in your email, which sometimes people don't, right? Sometimes your spam filter reads it. Then you can log on to Kickstarter and it will be available in your messages.
Yeah, Kickstarter pokes you about it.
They do.
Yeah,
They're
speaking
helpful.
of which, I better, because my mother filled it out while I'm still here, I better make sure my mom fills out hers.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's okay. I only sent it like a couple days ago, maximum.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't expect people are done, right? I expect at least a week before people will be. After about a week, I will start to, hey,
Messaging and,
would
hey!
you do it? Would you do it, please? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I got that done, and that's actually quite a big deal because I had something like 13 or 14 different backer packages. So I had to do a lot of them, right? And think about what do I need to know for this particular reward level on each of them. Filling it out and fulfillment, I have made difficult for myself. This is my own fault because I made it very customizable. I included a lot of add-ons. So every single thing, I've got to check and see, did they order the ebook? Did they get the other ebooks? Did they get the stories? And I've got to kind of make lists. I've reactivated a newsletter service that I used to have that I haven't used in like 2 years because I'm going to have to send a bunch of mass emails. And when you do that from your regular email, sometimes they block you, right?
Yeah,
so
true.
If it's already a mass email service, then they don't tend to do that, right? So that's what I've been doing. Yeah, so check your spam folders if you haven't seen it, right? And hello, Barbarossa. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Barbarossa. Good to see you, Sparkles.
Spammer, exactly. Yeah.
I just checked out of curiosity my spam email and it was like, oh, I see a lot of people have been emailing me about, I will fulfill your Kickstarter stuff for you.
Yep.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I think we mentioned that last time, didn't we? That lots of people are trying to sell their fulfillment services.
Yeah, no, if they're trying to sell you their fulfillment services, you don't want their fulfillment services.
Yeah, or that they will do ad for it or whatever they.
Yeah, it's not worth it. You're just throwing away your money.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay,
Go for
go ahead.
go for either a very legitimate and trusted fulfillment center, or do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your options.
Yeah. When you're small like us, it's
Mm-hmm.
generally worth it to do it yourself.
Yeah,
Right. As long
I'm
as your
doing it
budget's
myself.
good. Right.
Yeah.
To be
I will
honest,
be doing it myself. Every book that I'm going to be sending out, the physical copies is actually going to have, I don't know what, but some kind of note tucked in. But
yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I have more digital rewards available than I did physical rewards, even though it's about a book, right?
yeah,
And so honestly, if it's the other way around, like if you're putting out like a game system, you know, with
Yeah.
dice and stuff, get a fulfillment service. Pick it out beforehand, include it in your budget, right? Because the shipping can get way out of hand. A lot of people have been bankrupted by over shipping costs from Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
So don't do that to yourself. Plan that out beforehand. But if it's, you know, if it's a handful of books and some digital stuff and I've got a drop shipper for a lot of it anyway,
Yeah.
you know, you can do it yourself. So
Yeah. I haven't looked at how many physical copies I have to ship out, but I know it's less than 30, so
right.
it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing where I'm at is there's a couple of things. One of the things that's uncertain is that I'm talking to a publisher right now, right? Who
I saw
said,
that.
I would have published you. I said, cool. What about distribution? Because publishers have better relationships with distribution options, right?
Right.
So he is looking into that. If that happens, then I may have to publish a limited, just on Amazon to start with thing, right? And save the rest of it because they require at least 6 months notice before they'll put things, right? So that puts me back to March, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
again, if I do that, I will find some way to reach out to the people who have ordered physical copies of things, right? For those who ordered the big packages, I'll just send the rest of the big package without whatever book
The book.
was in it,
Yeah.
right? If necessary. Or I will print limited edition versions just for them, right? Whichever they want to do, if that happens. But I think I'm going to go for it if I can get it, because this will mean a better future for the series overall.
Yeah.
Right? So
that makes sense.
So that's up in the air. In the meantime, though, I am working on currently the thing I'm actively doing. I'm going to switch back to the browser screen and I'm going to capture my. Oh, I didn't put my Word up. Okay, just a second. I actually have to show you Word, which I haven't done in a while, because I am currently working on a PDF of all of the stories in one book, right? As a PDF book. So this will probably become the foundation for more stuff in the future. Like, I probably, after book 3 or 4, I will put this out as a book. Right? So, let's see here. But everybody who requested the stories is getting it beforehand. So, let's see.
I smile the smile of someone who ordered the stories.
Awesome. Yeah, okay, so there's what I'm currently doing in my Word document here, and I'm collecting, let's see, I'm the wrong window. Okay, there we go. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 manuscripts, right? Ranging from a short story that's about a little over 3,000 words, that's this one, right? Yeah. To a full novella that's almost a novel, about 45,000 words. This one. Right, this is like the bulk of the book here. So, and everything in between. I've got like a couple more short stories, a couple of shorter novelettes and novellas. You know, it's everything I've written that isn't the books, right? is in this thing. I'm putting it together in a way that I'm trying to make it like, so it's something you want to have, right? So I've got, I've got them all with, I'm using consistent fonts with the fonts on my, okay, this one here, this is Mina. This is the font that's generally used for titles and whatnot in the website, right? So, and then stuff like this font here with the chapter 1, that's League Gothic, which is the font used on the title page, like the cover for A Few Good Elves, right? So, trying to give it a consistent look. I have this, starting page here, the copyright page, which lists where all of them have been previously published, if they have been. One has not. One has never been published other than to my Patreons. So, but this one here, I actually sold this one 4 times. I'm kind of impressed. I'm like, oh, really? I didn't realize until I thought about it. I'm like looking it up in my bibliography to find out, right? So, yeah. Anyway, it's all, there's going to be bookmarks. When this is done in Word, I'm going to convert it to PDF. I'm going to put a pretty cover on it, right? And it's going to go out in that format, right? So that is the current project. I'm currently in the consistency editing stage, in that I've gotten, things have changed since some of these were done, or things like I didn't include the calendar system that I made up because it was for mass publication in some magazine, that I didn't want to spend 1,000 words of my 3,000 explaining the Avalonian calendar. So I didn't include that, right? But I'm, presumably you guys are supporting the series, so you'll want that information. You'll want to know what the date is in the Avalonian calendar, right? You'll want me to use the proper terminology, things like I've changed the description of the queen because we've done things in the game that we play where the person who's likely to become the queen is a player character, right? So and what she looks like and what her name is in the story were not relevant, right? What she does is. So changing those factors won't hurt it, right? So stuff like that. That story, that was just for the big novella, which was previously published in a limited edition book bundle called On the Horizon, I think it was. Just a second here. Yes, On the Horizon, Simple Worlds of Speculative Adventure, right? Which is no longer in print because it was limited edition. So, it's not unusual for writers to make changes between editions of things especially when it's a limited edition, it's no longer in print. So, all right, and that's the end of my babble session about where I'm at. That's really what I'm doing. My next, actually, we'll talk about our next plans after this if we still have time, right? And if not, then we'll do another one of these. So.
Oh darn! We'd have to talk to each other again.
I know.
But,
Oh, no.
You're just so terrible, all of you. / sarcasm.
Doesn't look like I've missed anything too important in the chat other than some people say they prefer audiobooks, but Basic Dragon says, yeah, I prefer audiobooks too, but it's nice to be able to smell and touch books sometimes.
Yeah.
BD supported an audiobook version of A Few Good Elves, so yes.
Yeah. I actually do better with audiobooks these days just because my vision is so well, I can still see things, just not well.
One of the reasons why audiobooks are good, right?
Yeah.
We've got hydrates and posture checks and save checks for some reason. But
I do technically have a document open. I'm just staring at it and not working on it.
Thank you, Barbarossa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Barbarossa said I was the best Quake, and I said, no, that's Mr. Twinkle.
Aw. Should I be poking Chris for you, Sable? Asked Rowan. I don't know. I will double check and see if he filled out his backer survey. Yeah.
So there is a slim but not unthinkable possibility that I will be doing a audiobook next year
Ooh.
Awesome.
for Reaper. Possibly also for Guardian, but let's start with book one.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. The audiobook. I guess that's something I should mention. Okay. While we're
Yes.
talking about transparency and stuff that goes on behind the scenes, Jamie and I are in disagreement about what to do with the audiobook. And Jamie is the guy I said, you could be in charge of that, right? And I promised I
Right.
wouldn't interfere. Because here's the thing, right? I'm a control freak. You may have noticed. Yeah. Smidge. I am. And, I try not to be, but especially about my babies, I'm like, where's my baby, right? So the only way this works, right, with what I'm doing is if I say to Aaron, okay, you have final authority on the role playing. What if it's RPG related? I can express my opinion, but you have the final decision, and I have to respect that if I want him to work on it, because otherwise I'm just undermining him, right? So the same thing is going on with Jamie in the audiobook, but the problem is he's waffling and it's driving me crazy.
Oh no.
Okay, so what I want to do is take whatever we made. Oh, hello! Thank you very much for the raid, Bitzer K. Welcome.
Hey, Bitzer.
We're kind of smack dab in the middle of our epic team up stream talking about behind the scenes about what's going on when you are trying to fulfill successful Kickstarters, since we're all kind of at different stages of that. And I was just talking about the audiobook. Okay, so what I want to do with is take whatever's left of the money after I've done whatever, else needs to be done, offer it to Kahuna, and say, please read this. It's not enough money. I'm going to tell you that right now. Audiobooks, professional readers cost more than that, right?
Yeah.
But A, some money is better than no money. B, I'd rather support somebody in the community than not, right? C, he's my friend, and I can probably convince him to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Jamie doesn't want me to do that. The reason why Jamie doesn't want me to do that is he would really like to, if we're going to get a professional reader, to pay professional rates to someone who is in the appropriate union, because we support unions in this house. And I understand his principles, right? But I don't have the budget for it. Failing that, he wants to read it or he wants me to read it because he doesn't feel it's fair to underpay people to read it, right? I'm like, let's ask Kahuna and see what he wants to do, right? So we're kind of going back and forth on that right now, right? If you supported the Kickstarter, or, I would love to hear your opinion on where it's at. I'm quite capable of reading the book. I can do it, right? In which case that stretch goal money will be used to make sure that I have the appropriate equipment to do it. Or that Jamie does, right? Because either way it goes the same way. We need like a, good quality mic with a pop screen and, better sound proofing than we currently have, and, stuff like that. We can do that with the money we got, right? I budgeted that out. That can be done, right?
Siobhan, Rowan, and James all make a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, Bakuna is trying to get into the union and needs exposure. Is he actively trying to get into the union? Do you know that for a fact, guys? Great.
Yes.
I can take that back to Jamie and go, but he's trying to get into the union, but he needs, stuff on his resume. In which case, Jamie will probably be totally fine with that, because he wants to get into the union. Okay. Right? So, cool. That helps me. That's great. I really want Kahuna to do it. Right? So,
I think Kahuna would be awesome.
I know he'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I know he'd be awesome. If he doesn't feel comfortable doing the feminine parts, I can do that. right? But,
Yeah.
but I would really love him to do it. He's great. And, I think he's got a good voice for it because without doing anything to his voice, he's got a strong voice of an older gentleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like he might have been out on the ocean for a while, right? It's perfect. It's perfect. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
For my audiobook that I'm thinking about doing next year, we'll see. I would be doing it myself because my protagonist is a girl. And I just happen to be a fab.
Right.
Might as well use the voice box I was born with.
Yep, makes sense to me. Yeah. Yeah. Nice there, Natalia. Word count for my short story, it's grown into a beast of 2,955 words. Okay, so thank you guys. That's helpful. I will take that back to Jamie, and then we can see what we can do with that. Because that might be the thing that'll, convince him to go my way. I believe that Kahuna would do it, and I know that it would not hurt him to have the cash, right? So
yeah, it would not.
And I would like to support people in the community before not, right? I got to give money to somebody. I might as well give it to a friend,
Yeah. If I had the money to give to someone, I would find someone in the community. I don't, so I'm going maybe use the voice box I have. It's a perfectly good voice box.
You sound good reading your own stuff. I would listen to that.
I do.
It would be fine.
Yeah.
Yep, it would be good.
Now this is a pipe dream full of smoke. Someday I will finish the meat of poetry and it will need a narrator, and Kahuna would be great.
Okay, guys. I think we're at a point where we're at the second hour. I think we can take our second break, and then when we get back, we'll discuss where Basic Dragon is at with their Kickstarter, because they're going to be considerably farther ahead of me, which is awesome. And if there's any time left after that, we will discuss where we're going next, what the next steps are for each of us. Since this was all about me this time, we'll play my video, and we'll be right back. Hi there. My name is Diane Morrison, and I'm a science fiction and fantasy author. I'm looking for your help to publish my novel, A Few Good Elves. Three years ago, you guys helped me publish Once Upon a Time in the Weird West, which is a collection of my Weird Western serial stories. And 2 years ago, you helped me to edit and publish Gunsmoke and Dragonfire, a fantasy western anthology. I figure we make a winning team. The Toy Soldier Saga is a fantasy space opera universe. It has all of the elements of space opera science fiction, but everything's done by magic. I don't think there's anything out there that is quite like it. And I really hope that you'll enjoy it and the extended universe that has been created around it.
I am Chris. I play Arian. He's the grizzled older ex-enlisted elf.
Remember, we've only got 30 days to make this happen. With your support, you can have some of the art that's been created for the books, you can have the stories, the ebook, a trade paperback copy, a hardcover copy, you might be able to get them signed. You could even get the entire collection of everything that I have previously published or been published in. Thanks in advance for your support, and thank you for listening. All right, and we are back. And this time I remembered to unmute the desktop audio. Sable's life after Kickstarter. Everybody's life after Kickstarter. Come on, it's not just been about me. I just, And now we're about to talk about Basic Dragon's life after Kickstarter. So, where are you at?
I'm writing and drawing. For the writing, I'm waiting on my sibling to have their vacation so they can edit it. And I'm doing line art for the art because after edits, the pages might change. So I'm not gonna color it until I know that it's gonna stay there, more or less.
Makes sense to me.
And I'm also trying to decide which packing material I'm gonna get because I have gotten my funds, so I can order what I need. But I'm unsure because I could order the same thing as last time because I've tried. This Kickstarter is gonna get a lot fatter than the last one, but I've tried and it still fits in the same packing material that I have. But I've been looking at packing material sites and I've found some fancy ones that I like better. So maybe.
Tell me more.
It's
probably
black.
Sweden only, but
I'm done. Yeah, the site is from Sweden, so probably. But it's black and gold in the inside, so.
Ooh,
nice, perfect.
pretty.
We'll see. I'll see if I'm pondering it and see if it. Yeah, I'm not sure it fits because it looks a bit smaller than the ones I have. So the ones I'm gonna have, and I have a couple of letters left from the previous Kickstarter, but not enough to fill what I need for this Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So I have to get something, and then it's like, Jesus Christ. Then she thought I was hissing at her, poor thing.
Hopefully it didn't knock over your coffee.
No, I drank it all.
Oh, that's
okay,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, salvage of the coffee. So you're in the process of making the art and the writing. And where are you at with that? Like,
I've finished writing, so I'm just poking at it a bit and waiting for my sibling to get her vacation so she can look at it. And I'm starting at the line art, so I've done a couple of pages. And I'm a bit behind because of summer camp and judging of the sponsored prompt and such, so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I totally hear you. I didn't sponsor a prompt this time because I was like, nope, I got too much of a plate. I know how long this took me last time. I'm sorry, guys. I was going to do a raffle today and I totally forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
It's not too late. It's not too late. Oh, I don't know. Is it too late? We're in the last hour. What do you guys think? No? Okay. So we're going to do a raffle.
No.
Right?
Yeah, do a raffle.
This is actually for the 600 followers on the channel. Right? And, yeah. I'm not sure what to give away here at this point. I've given out a lot of stuff about the Toy Soldier Saga, right? But, you know, a lot of people in chat already have this stuff now, or they're about to, because they're, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of people supported the Kickstarter. So why don't I offer a copy of Gunsmoke and Dragonfire in your choice of format? Let's do that, because you guys haven't seen that one yet, right? So I will set that up with my extensions here. And in the meantime, maybe BD can tell us a bit about the process, right? I know that artistic process is always like, people are like, what is your process? But, you know, right?
Yeah,
I'm interested in that, because I
Yeah.
don't do the art with the writing. Like, how do you plan that together? Is that something that...
partly. First I do these post-it notes and make trees for the choose your own adventure. And on the post-it notes, it only says what needs to be said. You woke up, and then the choices that you have.
Right.
And then I transfer all the information to a document that I can, that has I'm using Google document, or I use Landwill's manuscripts, because they have, you can click on something and then on the page. So I have listed all the pages, and then when I read the choices, I can click on the page that corresponds, so I can see that everything is correct.
Right.
And after that, I'll read the page and I do thumbnails for the images that I want to draw. And then I either draw on paper and scan it and draw it on my computer, or I draw from the computer directly, depending on what kind of an image it is. When it's people, I usually draw it on a paper first, because it's easier. And if it's just landscape, I do it directly on the computer, because it's a lot of lines and such, so
Yeah.
it's easier on the computer from the beginning.
That's interesting that you would approach it from, you know, like the two different mediums depending on what it is that you're working on. I mean, you know, I don't actually hear a lot about people doing traditional, like, you know, pen and paper work in art anymore, and I think that's really cool that that's at least the starting point for you. That's great.
Yeah, I started with traditional art, so I kind of feel more comfortable with it, so I just do it traditionally, and then I transfer it to digital.
Yeah, my artist actually for the cover art for Guardian, she started with charcoal.
Neat.
Yeah.
You know, when I think about it, I guess I can see it in there,
Yeah.
because there's that subtle shading that, and I did notice that, and I'm like, I wonder how they did that. So that's really cool. All right, so you know what? I'm going to. I don't have Gunsmoke and Dragonfire handy as a giveaway. I would have to type it all in and stuff, but I still got the Weird West Chronicles 1 to 7 available. So that's the giveaway we're going to do. We're going to start it right now. You get extra tickets if you're a subscriber, because subscribers, you know, help to support the channel, and I appreciate that. And it's exclamation point raffle once that's started to join, if you would like some. This is available in your choice of EPUB, Mobi, or PDF. Totally up to you.
I don't think I am currently a subscriber, but whatever.
Well, I don't know. Siobhan keeps winning these things, and she's not a subscriber, I don't think.
I was a subscriber, and then I went, I think I will give Barbarossa my Prime subscription.
Your Prime subscription. That's cool. Well, hey, you know, absolutely.
Because Sparkles is awesome.
Sparkles is awesome and deserves support from the community. Absolutely.
I agree. Yes. We got him to a hype train level 3, 4, something like that this morning.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm sorry I missed it. That sucks. Okay, so back to the original conversation, right? You're okay. Like I love this idea of plotting out the adventure with the post-it notes on a board. I'm like, that strikes
The
me
floor.
as on the floor.
Yeah.
That strikes me as something I'm doing.
On my siblings' floor, because my floor I have stuff and there's cat hair, and I want to have it if I start laying them out and then I go and do something else, I want to be able to come back to it. If I put something out on the floor in my apartment, the cats will have taken it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
This is a toy.
my sibling doesn't have any animals, so
Yeah.
Yeah, Rowan was there for the hype train this morning. That's cool. That's interesting. And your sibling just lets you do that?
yeah.
Put stuff all over her floor?
That's a good sibling. Good sibling.
Yeah, very helpful. I think I'd have to use a wall, but I could do that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think in my apartment. It is so small, and there's already stuff on the walls and the floor. This is probably just as well that I don't tend to do things physically unless I'm drawing it by hand.
Incidentally, I happen to know that this is how Cat Rambo plots her books regularly. Choose your own adventure or not. That's what she does, is post-it notes. I'm like, wow. Me? There's a reason why I need World Anvil. That would get out of hand.
Yeah, the way that I plot my books is I write a synopsis, and then I forget that the synopsis exists, and then I write the book.
Yeah, and then you go back to the synopsis and go, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, I look at the book and the synopsis and go, well, this is the same, this is different, this is the same, this is different.
Yeah, it's very true. I have, like, when the books were initially intended to be fan fiction, I put together machinima book trailers that I mashed together a bunch of different things. For those who don't know, machinima is where you take like something else, like clips of video games and pop culture, and you put it together and you tell like a different story, right? So that's what I did, right? And they were sort of intended as synopses for me to know where I was going, and some things are significantly different now. I mean, the basic plot's the same, but some things are significantly different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Rowan. I have a whole 90 square feet I live in. There is no room for anything, and that is why I don't want a tiny house.
Yeah.
And if I did have a tiny house, I'd also have to have a tiny office on the same property.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a tiny office.
Yeah.
Come to think of it. Because I don't need that much space when I'm writing. I just need desk.
Yeah, that's a good point. There are programs that serve as a whiteboard post-its, like that Trello one, right? That's cool.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Bitzer K says, my dad
but
used a corkboard. I like Trello. Everyone plots differently.
yeah.
I like my method of write a synopsis, forget about the synopsis. It works.
When I write novels, I write a synopsis for every scene on whatever writing program I feel like doing. But the Choose Your Own Adventures, I have to plot out because it's so much,
Yeah.
so many threads going everywhere.
Yeah.
I still have the synopsis for Guardian, the one that I wrote and then ignored. You can see the threads, but no.
I make a playlist that's a bit like an opera.
Yeah.
And that's what I do for my outline. I used to think I didn't outline, but I do that. I pick a song that embodies that important plot element, and then I put it in a playlist in a certain order. Yeah. So
I might try that for my next, the book that I'm technically still writing. Yeah.
yeah, because if I write an outline,
Yeah.
book ain't never getting done.
Yeah. Although the thing with the book that I'm technically still writing, which is the meat of poetry, is I don't really know what's happening in a scene until I get to that scene.
Right.
Because it is plotted. It is actually traditionally structured, plotted, and I have to follow the plot. Vague. So I have things like, here is the weather for this day. Here's what happens on this day. And they're one line each.
Right.
And then I have to go, and now I turned this into a chapter. Or at least half a chapter. Or at least a line. Help.
Yeah, Rowan agrees. She says, I do character playlists for D&D and for Pensic, which is the story that basically it's as if the SCA Pensic War, same thing that happens in like the 1636 novels or whatever happened, and the whole thing ended up like transported back in time to like, Scotland in the time of the Picts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens from there. That's what she's writing with her co-writer, right? And she says, for that, I'm doing songs for major and supporting characters and some general themes music. Yeah. Rugrat is not a Pensic. Yes.
Yeah, I have playlists for certain scene types, which, no, that's too much spoiler, but I can tell you that I have specific playlists for like battle scenes.
Yep. Yeah, I do that too. General mood music for a particular...
Yeah, general mood. And then I have like, okay, so the main character of the Reaper Saga is named Raven. She has a playlist.
Right.
If I'm writing something that's very Raven-centric, I put on that playlist.
Makes sense. Yeah, I have battle scene playlists. For the Weird West, I have this playlist that's a combination of post-apocalyptic music, dark country, spaghetti western theme music, and I don't know, random shit that seemed appropriate, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the Raven playlist, is like, well, this seems appropriate for this character, but also kind of not, but whatever, it works.
Yeah. So back on topic, because we're wandering. I mean, it's relevant because we're talking about our process, and process is always interesting, but so time estimate, right? Where do you figure you're at there, Basic Dragon? Like,
I'm not sure because this one got a bit bigger than I had planned. It was planned to be about the same size as the first one, but then I was like, I planned it out, and I was like, I really, really want to add these things as well. And then I asked the Kickstarter backers, and they were like, do what you want. And I was like, I'll add everything.
absolutely. I think if you love it, it's better that way.
Yeah.
Right? And honestly, you do get a couple of people who treat Kickstarters like they're buying a product. And those are the ones who will get on your case when things are late or, when something is a change of plans. But most people support your Kickstarter because they're interested in supporting you and your project, right? So,
and I also gave it an extra month this time compared to last time, so I have more time anyway, so...
Yeah.
I'd personally rather get the more complete version too. So,
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Don't rush it. Take your time. Yeah. It's my opinion. So, and that's, that's something that, keep in mind, right? When you're supporting a Kickstarter, that sometimes things change. It's not like buying a product. The product doesn't exist yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the product's already out...
Sort of exists.
What's that? Sorry?
My product sort of exists. It's not finished yet.
Well, this is it, right? The manuscript exists. It's done, right? Same with me. Manuscript exists. Most of the, bonus reward stuff, it already exists, right? Is it in a format that it's ready to be a product? No. A lot of it is not, right? And that's what you're supporting with the Kickstarter money, right? That's what you're doing. You're investing, right?
Yeah.
And with an investment, there is a certain amount of risk, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes things don't work out. I can say with certainty that I've delivered on every Kickstarter that I have done.
Yeah.
Sometimes things have been a little delayed. Yeah. Are we ever really done? No. You know what? I'll publish this book. Here's the rule for me, right? I will publish this book And after that, I can't fuck with it. It's done. Right? You're not allowed to retcon bullshit, you know? You're not allowed to make up midichlorians halfway through the series.
George
You're not
Lucas.
allowed to claim Dumbledore was gay when you never said anything about it in the book. You're not allowed. That's it.
No.
It's done. Yeah.
Yeah, the closest thing I have done to editing a book is I put the K back in the word knob. That doesn't really count. I was not talking about a head, I was talking about a doorknob, and it was obvious.
Typos are fine to edit in the second edition. It's okay.
True.
Yeah, if it's not in my notes, it isn't real, and I won't claim otherwise. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, I have said pre the books that this becomes relevant in that Raven is asexual, but I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there.
I don't see why that, would change anything you've written. So that's totally cool.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
As far as I'm concerned, you're allowed to add anything as long as it doesn't change what you've already written, right?
Yeah, and if it's relevant to a future book, that's important.
Yep.
Look at that.
That's all I'm gonna say.
It's good.
So is there anything else you want to say about where you're currently at there, Basic Dragon, or is that kind of just I'm working? It's
I'm working. It's on the way.
Have you gotten all your backer surveys back yet?
No, because I'm still pondering what I should include in all the backer surveys.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no!
Oh no!
Conquest Publishing says our edit was painful for the Mercedes book, Mercedes Lackey. They're working with Mercedes Lackey to publish stuff in like a comic that Mercedes Lackey's written. I'm really excited about this for them.
Yeah, me too.
We are redrawing the whole book. That is crappy. I am
As
sorry to hear
somebody who
that.
cannot draw, that hurts my brain. I know just enough about.
Sorry.
See you, Bob. I know just enough about art to make that hurt my brain just to think about.
Can you say why you have to redraw the whole book, or
it will be better? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's.
Sometimes you got to rewrite the whole book.
I'm rewriting the end of book 3.
Oh.
Yeah, it will be better because I messed it up so badly the first time, but I get to keep like 2-3 chapters, something like that, but everything else is just no.
I get that about we lost an artist. It's why I was very clear, right, with my cover artist, Chaotica, who is awesome, and I should shout her out because she's part of our community. She's an Anvilite, she's a streamer, she's a Twitch writer, she's out there. There she is. Right? I said to her right off the bat, if this works out, I'm going to need you for a minimum of 5 covers. So, can you do that?
Yeah.
Right, because consistency is really important, right? So if you lost an artist halfway through the comic, you're gotta redraw the comic. It's shitty. I sympathize.
Yeah. My artist for books 1 and 2, I've already told her I want you for book 3. It's gonna be at least a year. If I have to find a different artist for book 4, that would actually kind of work. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I haven't written book 4 yet, but it would kind of work.
Gotcha. Yeah, I really want to get my cover for book 2 drawn now, right? I know it's done too, right? I'm just doing the final edits in that one.
Yeah.
Right? So I know what I'm doing. Yeah, with the 2 RPGs, we can get away with different artists. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the consistency that having my friend Dreamy is the one who did my art. She's Dreamy09 on Instagram, and her legal name is Sarah Walker Wood. But she's Dreamy09 on Instagram, and she's a henna artist and an amazing. She's actually a scientific illustrator.
Nice.
And having her be the artist for both covers is like you can see the threads from the first cover in the second cover. You can see that. And
Yeah.
I'm hoping she'll do something just as epic for the third cover. She will, because she's dreamy. But
Yeah, Conquest, do you use Kickstarter as part of your business model? And do you use it in different ways? Because we're all,
yeah,
we're all writers, right?
yeah. And I know you're more business end than the creative end. So could be you do things differently.
I'm an engineer that's an artist. Does that count? Yes.
Yes, that does count.
I need an engineer who's an artist to draw my ships, man.
Yeah.
I gotta have the ships. I'm reaching a point where I'm at critical mass and must have the ships. And I don't have enough technical knowledge to do it right. We will be doing it to promote, not get funds. Yep.
That makes sense, yeah.
Which brings us to how you can use your Kickstarter after the fact to promote your work, right?
Yep.
And since we have half an hour left, I guess we have time to talk about that. So, I'll go to the browser screen here. Do you guys have, post your links to the Kickstarters, your Kickstarters in the chat again, because I'm sure you guys have done things with your after pages too, right?
I actually haven't gotten to that yet. I keep meaning
I
to and
haven't done it.
forgetting.
You haven't? Neither one of you have?
I keep forgetting.
Okay.
Mm.
All
Not
right.
like I've had anything going on.
Well, I have, and this is what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So, I noticed that I tried to make it look more consistent with my existing brand. This background is actually the same background that I am using on my World Anvil world site for the Toy Soldier Saga, right? I am using red because that is part of it. I can't change the fonts. I'm stuck with those, right? But you can see this. Okay, first of all, this page exists, right? If you go to Google and you type in a few good elves, you will see that the Kickstarter is the first thing that comes up, followed by the World Anvil. Now, World Anvil has really great SEO is what I'm looking for, right?
Yeah.
To get attention on search engines. It's awesome, but Kickstarters is better. So this is a great way to promote the book. You type that in, people go, oh, Kickstarter, what's the Kickstarter? Because they'll check. They'll look to see, was it successful? Yes, it was successful. 104 backers pledged, X amount of dollars in your local currency to help bring this project to life. Okay, that's cool. This button here is a key thing. Now, what I need to do is get my manuscript done so I can get it in the hands of my formatter so I know how big the book's going to be. Because then I can put my pre-orders up. And then you want that link to go to your pre-order. Right? So people can go, oh, I'm going to go and, buy the book, right? Right now, this takes you to, it should take you to my World Anvil page. Ah, yes, it takes you to the article on my World Anvil site about the book.
Nice.
So, which apparently is taking forever to load because the picture's huge, but
Well.
But anyway, it's got the video from the Kickstarter, right?
Oh yeah, I just remembered I need to edit my header on a World Anvil also. The Kickstarter ended.
Yes. It took me a couple days to get there too, Eli. About the same amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Here's the blurb, right, about the book, release date, length, information about it, right? Press kit, links to that. Praise, reviews are good, right? And stuff like that. And when I get the pre-order up, it will go to the pre-order. You can also read the first chapter or two here, because that links to my World Anvil manuscript, right? Which you can, that portion is available to the public. The rest of it is only for my patrons, right? So, yeah, and it's a good way to promote your book, right? So you can do that, right? And it all comes from that link right there. The old information about your Kickstarter remains, right?
Yeah.
So that gives information about the project and whatnot still. It's really that SEO response and the potential to link to wherever your project is that's useful. But another thing that's useful is this section down here. Now you see you've got campaign, FAQ, updates, comments, community, right? Updates. You can post public updates here, right? This is for backers only, but you can, but if even the general public will see public updates. So you can do things like, you know, and it says right here, you know, project funds successfully, right? You know, you can talk about stuff like, okay, I've had this setback, or this is the date, or there's this exciting thing going on, and people can check there and get information, right? So very useful for that purpose.
Yeah, I do Monday updates.
You do it on a regular weekly
Yes.
basis, do you? I'm not
Yes,
quite that
every Monday.
organized. I tend to do it when I have something major to say or when it's been a while.
Yeah, every Monday. It's good that people know when stuff comes, so they know when to expect stuff or updates or whatever. It's I get it from reading webcomics and watching YouTube. They do it regularly, and it's you know when to expect stuff, so it's easier.
Basic Dragon's model is better, by the way, than mine, right? Because that regular update, they do tell you to do that, and when people have regular updates and they come to expect it, then they don't start worrying about stuff. Mine is not as good, but the point is to have regular updates, right? Do not keep people waiting more than a couple of weeks maximum for information at all until you get everything sent where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I should probably do an update.
It took me a few days to get an update out too for that reason. I think it was 10 days after that I finally got the update out, between being exhausted and everything that was going on, right? And people were patient, right? You're
Yeah.
right. You shouldn't do that. You should have your update out 3 days after maximum.
I think I did do an update. Let me see. Yes, I did do an update. I let people know that we achieved what we were after, and the basic plan.
That's cool. Makes sense. Yeah, going back to the browser screen here for Basic Dragon's setup, because their business model is entirely Kickstarter, this is actually the best advertising page that they could have, right? Because it says, oh, this is the second one. It was funded. That number of people pledged a bunch of money. Awesome. Well,
Yep. I updated my Kickstarter, by the way.
excellent.
Well, not the... I did the page thing. I didn't update the... There is no new update, is what I am trying to spit out.
Right. Stupid Windows thing. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to bug you all when we get ready to launch it. Yes, yes, you will. Conquest Publishing, absolutely. Sorry, my computer's doing something weird. I hope I'm not lagging or anything.
It looks fine on my end.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay, it does appear to be fine. And Conquest Publishing says we helped one Kickstarter by doing countdown videos. Countdown videos are useful, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna do Eli's site now. Here. Eventually.
In a minute.
I don't know, it looks like you might have done stuff to update your page.
Yeah, I updated my page a little bit. Nothing too fancy, but...
Yeah, it's nice. It's simple. You still got your video. You've still got your, logo and the picture, right? And your button goes to your author website, which is good, right? Keep people informed.
Yep. I'm going to have to actually update my blog on my website. Oh dear.
I think it's important, like, I personally think that the best thing to do from your Kickstarter page when you have it, like, when you have it ready is the pre-order for the book.
Yeah. Which I can't do that yet because I don't have
Have
a
the
pre-order.
pre-order. Neither do I.
Yeah.
Right? So that is something I've got to get, like, right on fairly quickly. What I might do is upload a dummy copy in Word to Amazon anyway, so that I have something that's, like, there.
Yeah. As soon as I get money, I will probably start the process of that website that I use for distribution. Ingram Spark.
Ingram Spark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use
So I will
Ingram Spark
probably,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I will probably start that process pretty close to after I get the money. But
Now, there's a question, actually, BD. What are you using to print?
I'm using Mixam. I think they are. It's a UK-based printing. They print everything.
makes sense.
Yeah, they print scenes. They print art books. They print comics. Everything.
Cool.
Yeah. It would be, well, I'm not sure what update I would give on. I think I'm going to follow Basic Dragon's example and do weekly updates on Sunday because my Kickstarter ended on Sunday and it makes sense. I think on Sunday I might do an update and be like, hey, so Charlie, who is the editor, has already started editing, or not editing, proofreading. That one.
Yep.
And in the meantime, I'm doing whatever I'm doing.
Yep. Regular updates are important, right?
Yeah,
So,
they don't have to be long.
Yeah.
Either.
yeah. Yeah, that's true. They can be like, hey guys, still hard at work. Finished X. See you next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie has started proofreading, and in the meantime, I'm sitting on my hands and kind of going, I want the money so that I can do the other things I have to do.
Yeah. Yeah, what we did with the funds when they came in, because they go right to your bank account, is we put them in our savings account, which had nothing in it.
Yeah.
Like our personal savings account, right? And we went, there. So now
Yeah.
all the money's separate. We know where it is. Right?
Yeah, that's one of the few advantages of having that separate bank account, which always says, you have a bank transaction. Is this fraud? Is I know exactly what that money is for. That money is for this and nothing else. I do
That's
not
right.
touch.
Yeah, that's right. And that can be difficult, actually, separating the money when you don't have a business account, when you're a private person, right?
Yeah.
Keeping it separate, which is one of the reasons why taxes can be complicated.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to not commission that second art piece, even though I really want to do it, just because tax reasons.
Yep, legit. Well, we have 15 minutes left. The raffle has ended. I think we're at a point where we can start to ask briefly what's the next step.
Yeah. Well, while I'm thinking, why don't you answer, Basic Dragon?
Yeah, I'm going to finish this scene and then start with a part 3. yeah, doing the same thing over again until that one is finished, and after that I'm going to start working on the actual story.
Makes sense.
Awesome.
I might start doing some basic formatting for Guardian. Just the basic stuff where it's like, yes, I will have to copy paste in new stuff or redo my formatting all over again, but start getting an idea of what I want the chapters to look like.
Right. Right. My next step is to get the formatting into like the basic manuscript, including all the appropriate information, into the hands of my formatter with all the backer names, right? I've got to get a hold of the blog tour company and pay them, right? I booked the blog tour, but I still had to pay them because I had to wait for the money to come in, so I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And now I've got to get onto like Amazon, Goodreads, and get, this is the book, right? And the information and the links, and which is why I've got to do at least a dummy copy pre-order in Amazon, right? So
Yeah.
that's always a bit of a risk. If somebody doesn't have the thing done on time, right, then you won't have time to upload the new copy, and it may not have time to process through before it goes live. Because if you book a pre-order, it goes live when it goes live, right? So you're fucked if you haven't done it properly. But fortunately, I can count on my formatter, right?
Yeah.
She does good work. She will get it done on time, even if she has to stay up for 3 days to do it, right? And unfairly to her, she wouldn't charge me a penny extra for that. She should, but she won't, right? So, yeah. I would pay her more. I would be like, no, I insist you take more money to do that, because I'm a pain in the ass, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I can safely go ahead with the Amazon pre-order now, though, because Amazon will happen regardless. Everything else, might have to wait. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also need to at least start thinking about going to, Boker is the, US ISBN company. I need to at least start thinking about going to them and saying, I need ISBNs for this book. I would like this one and this one and this one.
ISBNs are interesting, and it depends on the country that you're in. I already have my ISBNs, right?
Yeah, I have mine too.
I live in Canada, and if you register as a publisher in Canada, which you can do as an independent, they just give you ISBNs, right?
Yeah.
In return, though, you're supposed to catalog your stuff with the Library of Canada, right? And but no problem. I'd be happy to do that anyway, right? So yeah, so that's got to be done. And honestly, I'm behind. I've sent my e-copies into them for the other 2 books there that I produced myself, but I need to send my physical copies in, right? So, which I have not done yet. And the reason why I have not done yet is because I got to get a hold of them, because I got to talk to them about authors, right? Because they're like, list all the authors in the book and their birth dates and where they're born. And I'm like, I don't know this shit for the people in Gunsmoke and Dragonfire. I never asked them all that personal information, So I'll see if I can get away with just being, listed as the editor and be done with it, because I don't know. It was, I paid people for their work, so.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the US, I have to pay for all of my ISBNs. But they're paid for, because my last Kickstarter was fantastically successful and I was able to buy 100 instead of 10.
Brilliant! So you're set.
I'm set for like 5 years, maybe longer.
And where are you at there, BD? Do you need ISBNs?
I don't know, because I haven't published the book yet.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
But
Fair enough.
I'm presuming it's similar to Canada. Or, yeah?
It could be similar to the US. It really varies by country.
Yeah. I can check.
Yeah, it's worth knowing,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
researching
Yeah,
ISBNs
I have checked it before, but it was years ago when I was
Yeah,
planning on doing it. So, um,
things like that don't change often. So
Mhm.
it might still be relevant whenever you found out.
yeah, but I don't remember because it was like 10 years ago.
No
Yeah.
problem. I get it.
Yeah, it's free. You can just apply for numbers.
Nice. Jealous. I'm jealous of both of you.
Yeah, I don't blame you, honestly. I'm but then again, I'm jealous of your media rate to send things in the post.
That is
Right?
true.
We don't have
media
that.
rates. The media rate's nice, although I don't get to do it for international, but you know.
To be honest, Basic Dragon probably does not need ISBNs, right?
Yeah,
Because
not for Choose Your Own Adventures,
right,
because they don't count as it. Graphical novels are different from comics also. So graphical novels needs ISBNs, but comics don't. So
yeah, it's very strange, right? And honestly, to self-publish, if you're just going to do it through Amazon or something like that, you don't need an ISBN
Nah.
because
The
they
only
automatically
reason
provide it.
Yeah, the only reason I wanted my own ISBNs was because I wanted it to say my name on the publisher.
if you want be on the New York's bestseller list, you need an ISBN.
That's true too.
If you want to basically get it out there anywhere other than online on Amazon, you need an
Yeah.
ISBN.
You need an ISBN.
In library and everything book related.
Yeah.
So worth it if you want the book to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you have to have it. So that's why it's important to, American publishers have to take that into account with their budgeting, right? Coming back to the budgeting issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we're at. Now, I'm going to be, if things go well, the book is going to release almost exactly a month from today.
Yeah. Couple more days. In a month.
Yeah. Let's see. That's Tuesday. Do you guys want to come back for that? I was thinking that a month from now and see where we're at would be ideal. And hey, why not kill two birds with one stone, right?
Yeah, why not? I'm here for it.
Checking when I
have to check the calendar.
work.
For sure.
So that would be September
7th.
The 7th?
Yes.
7th. Okay.
Yeah, I'm off on that day, but time zones. But yeah.
Right, time zones. Well, yeah, let's see. So, what time zone are you in? What's the plus on it?
I can always stream after well done with streams.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's the regular time that I would be.
Yeah.
So I can schedule it for that, which means I'm kind of going to be booting Aaron's Ask an Old GM off that day, but whatever. He won't mind.
Yeah, probably not.
He loves me.
And you can always swap with him. You can do
he could do Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So, any last words? We have about 5 minutes left, and I figure it's about time for me to draw the raffle, and then we'll play Basic Dragon's Kickstarter video and find someone to raid.
See who's up.
And thanks for joining us today, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
I hope this has been helpful to people. And if not, I hope it was interesting anyway.
Yeah.
All right, picking the winner. The winner is Rowan.
Yay!
Yay! Congratulations. You know what? It's amazing that she doesn't have those yet. And I know she doesn't. So that's awesome. All right, I will send those to you by Discord. Let me know whether you want them in PDF Kindle format or general e-reader format. So, yay!
Yep.
Right. So, last thoughts.
Yeah. By the time we talk next, I might have books next month.
Books are good.
Yeah, because I might have ordered them already. It kind of depends on where I am in the process,
Yep. I hope to. Well, I better have books too.
You better have books by then.
You know what? I might not though,
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't know where my next address is going to be yet. Should I be ordering books?
That's a good point.
Mm.
You know, I might just want to order them. You know what? I can order them to my mom-in-law's place.
Yeah.
That's what I should do.
Yeah.
That's what I should do. She'd let me do that. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah. You will have books? Anything last from Basic Dragon?
No. I think I might have books, but I think I had October as the last month I had to finish. So I want it to be done before because I want to start a third one soon, but we never know.
Yeah. I think I said October for latest shipping for me.
Right. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, things will be shipped by the beginning of September. Whether you will get it or not, I don't know.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't control the mail.
Yeah, I can tell you that anything I have to ship will be shipped by the 25th, 26th latest. Beyond that, I think I'm going to not send my ebooks until the 23rd because the 22nd is my birthday.
Awesome.
Yeah. Happy birthday to me.
Yes.
I'm publishing a book.
That's right. Happy birthday to you. Exactly. It's awesome.
That's funny. I got myself the same birthday present 2 years ago.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so who is coming on here? Let's see.
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody.
That's a problem.
Kahuna's not coming on for like an hour. Ooh. All right.
Ugh.
Who's currently live then?
As far as I can tell, nobody.
Well, that's depressing, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm good to hang out and write if you want.
That might be
Dungeon
a possibility.
Fog, maybe.
Basic Dragon has to go. I know that
Basic
for
Dragon
a fact.
has to go to sleep, but I can hang out and do writing.
Sad Twitch is sad. Oh, Bigfoot is up.
Oh, Bigfoot is up.
We could visit Bigfoot. I haven't visited Bigfoot in a while. Cool.
I didn't see Bigfoot on. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, okay. We'll visit Bigfoot then, and that will be awesome. And yeah, we're gonna play Basic Dragon's Kickstarter video before we go, and then we're gonna start the raid. What do you guys think the raid call should be? Prepare to be boarded doesn't quite fit everybody, so.
I don't know. Basic Dragon, what's your raid call again? I forget.
I don't have one. I usually tell people to do what raid call they want.
And yours is more arson.
Mine is more arson. Yours
Which
is
actually
prepare to be boarded.
Does go well with prepare to be boarded.
Yeah.
I mean that, you know.
Prepare for more arson or something. We could also do keep writing.
That's true.
More boarding.
More boarding.
More books. I like
books.
more books.
I like more books.
More books.
More books.
More books.
Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today. Tell people where to find you guys, and I will shout out while we are at it.
Well, I will.
You go first. You spoke first.
You can find me on World Will.
Yep.
And you can find me at well, you can find me on World Anvil, but you can also find me at eliquake.com.
And of course, both of you are also Twitch streamers. You can find them there. We're shouting you out now. So that's awesome. Definitely subscribe to their, well, hopefully subscribe, at least follow their Twitch channels if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll meet back here in just over a month's time. And awesome. Thanks for joining us today, everybody. And we'll see you again soon.
Yes.